Tuesday. Happy Tuesday morning. I hope everyone is doing well and that you had a good Monday, a successful Monday, whatever it was that you had planned to do. Um, Today, we're just going to be answering questions. So, any questions you have, good morning, Melody. Good morning, Jay Helm. Good morning, Dave Nye, the silver guy. Good morning, Mike Matt. Good morning. Jean, good morning. How are you? Welcome in. So any questions you have, feel free to ask. I'll cover, there's not any new news, but I will just cover it because sometimes people come in just for that to find out the news and they haven't been here for a while. I will also wipe off my glasses because they're dusty. Good morning. The Monster Mash. I love that. The Monster Mash. It was what is it? A graveyard smash. The Monster Mash. I love that. I love all the clever names that there are on here. You guys make me happy. So good morning. And if you're watching on YouTube and Twitch, hello, good morning. Please go up to the QR code that I think is over on this side. Anyways, it's up here somewhere. Come on over to Whatnot and join the conversation. To be honest, I don't check the chat. So if you want to chat with each other, feel free. But come on over here if you have any questions about Whatnot. I'll be happy to try and answer your questions. Oh, okay. Well, you feel free to ask. Does anyone collect the tea room pattern in pink? I'm going to look that up. Hang on, because some of us may not know what pattern we have. Tea room pattern pink. I'm looking it up, J-Helm. Tea room. Is that the Indiana glass tea room pink? This one here? Is this the one, the Indiana glass? It's super pretty. Pink tea room depression glass. Okay, let me just show it. Well, I guess I shouldn't show it on another site. So I'm going to open up replacements. So tea room, this is the shape of tea room. Oh, go away, replacements. I just want to show the shape. We're not actually interested in buying from you because you're expensive. So there, I'm not saying go to replacements.com, but these are pictures of that tea room pattern. It's very, gosh, I think I've sold some actually. Do you have like a whole collection that you want to sell? I don't know anybody, but there are a lot of people who love depression glass and especially pink depression glass. You have a bunch of it that you're still listing. That's awesome. So everyone check out Jay Helm's page and bookmark their shows because they're going to have some amazing. This is Indiana glass and it's called Tea Room. And look how pretty it is. It's a really pretty like structural pattern. I love, like, it's very structural. I love that. It's hefty. It's not what I think when I thought tea room. I thought flowers and hearts and stars and I don't know, more flowers. But it's actually very Art Deco, very structured. I love it. I love it. It's very heavy. Yeah. Um, Indiana glass was pretty substantial glass. No, I appreciate you asking. And so if anybody loves pink depression glass, check out J Helm. It looks like a wedding cake upside down. You're right. Hang on. Let me see if it'll not. You're right. Oops. No, it was like, I can't go upside down, Kim. I can't do it. I can't do it. Going upside down hurts me. Stop. There. You're right. Look at the layers. That's so cute. You're so right, Mimics. Good morning. And the stem is the topper. Yeah, it's like hello. Good morning, Crystal. How are you? So good morning, everyone that's come in. What Melody said, Trump is ignoring foreign payment deadline. Well, of course he is, because then he can't keep because they're in a Trump session now. He's the first president ever who will have a recession that's named after him. They're already calling it the Trump session. Yeah. Trump session. Instead of recession, it's Trump session. How how fabulous that is for his reputation for time eternity, that this date, this time in history will be known as the American Trump session. Dave Nye, you're so confused by these new whatnot rules, right? Oh, that's right, because you do spinning. You do spinning. So coins and bullion are under a different rule book. So let me just pull that up for you. So for everyone who doesn't know, as of yesterday, mystery games are no longer allowed. And there are some categories that still have what would be similar to mystery games, but everything's called a surprise product set now. But whatnot, coins, surprise. I'm just going to see if it'll come up for me if I do whatnot, coins, surprise products policy. Here we go. Okay. So I'm just going to scroll until I get to single surprise, randomized surprise, surprise. Okay, so sellers must include only items of the same type in a surprise set. So their example is a set cannot contain a coin and paper money. So as long as you have, as Dave Nye, as long as your set, which is your wheel, had only coins, then you'd be okay. But you can't mix coins and paper money. And I would double check with them. I would double check with support about doing like coin sets and single coins. That may be that you have to separate coin sets out from single coins and only do single coins. I would double check with them about that. Um, and there's no minimum category and you're not gated. So it's basically it's bullion versus coins versus paper currency. But it said same value. No, it doesn't have to be the same value. Same type. Same type. Let me just double check. I'm going to go control find and hit value. So one, two. The only time value is mentioned, Dave, is that in bags and accessories, sneaker and streetwear, and sports memorabilia, there's a minimum value for each item in a surprise set for those categories. Outside of that, you are not to list or mention value. Um, because unfortunately, um, yeah, you can't say your ceiling, you can't say your floor, and you cannot say your average. You just put a list of all the items, and your the people who are winning, typically, I've noticed in your show, they know what they're doing. I mean, when I come in, I have no freaking clue. You know that. But when other people come into your room, they seem to know. They seem to be educated, so they'll know that they got a hit, and you can still go, "Whoa! Oh my gosh! Look at that! Check it out! You won this! Isn't that awesome?" Um, so you can still get all excited about the hit, but you cannot put what the value is, and that's because there were some very bad apples who were putting inflated values on items. And so that is the reason. So you can thank the bad apples in all the different categories who were putting way too inflated values on the things that they were spinning for. So sorry, but you can still do yours. Just I would double check about adding coin sets in with single coins. I think it should be okay because it's coins. But I would just double check so that you make sure that you're covering your behind with two hands in a picnic basket, as my friend Tammy used to say. So that would be my only recommendation. But basically, all you have to do is on your listing for your wheel, you would put that is you could always. So I recommend asking for permission rather than forgiveness. I like to be on the safe side. um when we were doing political campaigns, we would always say it's better to ask forgiveness than it is for permission. So yeah, you've never had an issue. It's just now with the new surprise sets, as long as you're just sticking coins and not adding any bullion in there, you should be fine. So just, silver coins, gold coins, I guess, are not considered bullion. I don't know. How does that work? I have no clue. You know what you're talking about. You just need to make sure that it's all the same thing. And you could do so. Um, what you could separate is you could do a wheel set surprise set for coins, and then you could do a second half, which is a wheel for bullion if you wanted to. So you could, in the same show, you can do multiple you can do multiple surprise sets. So for like example in jewelry, if somebody wanted to do a jewelry surprise set, they could split it up and do brooches and then rings and then earrings. And so people would know they're definitely getting a ring of some sort, and it's listed what each one is. So it's going to take a little bit more time, but so mimics, what you do is you type in the information for your wheel, would be the same information that's in your description, because you have to have that in your description. So you could just um, copy that, the list from your description, and then go over to your notes or notepad or whatever it is that you have on the whatever you're going to use, whatever iPhone you're going to use. So I downloaded a clipboard program, and I use that for saving things that I'm then going to paste later and often. But there's also a notepad or something. Anyways, you save it into there. And then whenever you need it for your second wheel, your third wheel, your fourth wheel, you just, once the wheel is done, once you finish doing the wheel, you can then go in and create more. So I did it when I did an 8 game wheel. Once I was finished spinning all the way around, I was able to, and there was nothing left. I was able to get rid of it. So, for example, if you were running and say you only sold 20 out of 30 items, if you just spin the wheel and hit remove for all the leftovers, then you can right? If you spin the wheel and remove the leftovers, and this is something called the randomizer wheel, which is part of Whatnot, which you could use as a way to select which item a person won in a surprise set. Um, so you would just remove the leftovers that hadn't sold. If all your wheel spins didn't sell out, then you would remove them by just spin, remove, spin, remove, spin, remove, which shouldn't take too long if you just go like this, right? You just spin, remove, spin, remove, spin, remove, and then you can put in your new data of your next surprise set. So that would be, there's a button that removes all. I didn't even know that. There you go. There's a button that removes all. So if you don't sell all of your spins on your surprise set, then you can just remove all, because there's a button that I didn't even know about. Thank you, Dave. Remove the button. This is only available on iPhone, everybody. So if you don't use an iPhone or an iPad, an iOS device, you won't be able to use the randomizer wheel, but it is one of the features that Whatnot has, but it is currently only available on iOS devices. Most people don't use the spin wheel in their shows. A lot of people who do mystery games in the past had people pick a number, and then between, if there was 20 things, pick a number between 1 and 20, and then the person would get whatever was in bag number one, bag number two, etc. So it's fairly similar. I actually had a fun idea. Oh, Dave says that There's a rumor that Android and PC will get the wheel this month. That would be very exciting. That'd be very exciting. I think a lot of people would try it out at least. But yeah, seller tools. Yeah. So you need to go into your live seller tools to turn this on before you'll even see it. So if you haven't gone in and turned on live seller tools, and you have an iOS device, you still won't see it until you've turned it on. So yeah, there you go. There are no special rules for coins. It's pretty much the same for everybody. When it comes to surprise product sets, it all has to be similar. Melly says, I want Android to get closed captions. But Melly, you can just turn on iOS's closed caption, and it's pretty much the same thing. Um, and I haven't seen much of a difference between the two because both all computers and phones now have an accessibility feature for now because of laws around the world for accessibility. Um, so you can, yeah, so you just go, so if you're on your iPhone, just scroll down, just do the pull down, and then you should see accessibility features as one of the things. You're on Android though, so yeah, so on Android, I have it as one of my dots, and it's called live caption. So, and then let me show you what it looks like. Let's see. Go back to whatnot. I'm going to go into somebody else's show so I'm not echoing. Hang on. Minimize show. Go into someone else's show so I can show you. Multiverse. There we go.
It's a t-shirt hoodie, and it is a size large. This one is on a legend tag, size large, and this one is a Michael Jordan number 23. Very cool paint splatter short sleeve hoodie. Very, very cool. It's a red base. It has the 23 on there. So very basketball, sporty.
Very, very cool. Yep. Let me just, so if you go to, gotta make sure I've got the volume down. So I have it in my collection because I use it a lot. It's right here. I think that's it right there. I can't see very well. Live caption. So it's turned off and then I just turn it on. So if you go into, see, if you go to the end and you hit the plus sign, it'll show you all the things that you don't have set up on your settings up above. So I just added it so that whenever I need to, I can turn on live caption. So if I'm if I'm doing something and I need to concentrate, because I really have to turn down the volume if I'm writing something out, I can't hear other words in my head because my brain can't focus on my words and I lose my train of thought. You've noticed that many times. Um, and I don't know why that is. It's fun. It's fun. I don't like it. But good morning, Border City. How are you? So that's where it is. So if you're on Android, and it's the same for iPhone. iPhone also has a live caption feature. I can't remember what it's called, but it's the same thing. So it's in your accessibility features, and so you don't need whatnot to translate, to do the live captioning for you. Yeah, and people who have anyone that you know that has hearing problems, show them how to use, for just their life, show them how to use the live caption. I mean, is it perfect? No. No, of course not. And sometimes it's kind of funny. um because there's people with southern drawls that sell on whatnot. Yes, thank you. Border City Thrips. It's under accessibility, live captions in the settings, and you can add it as one of your little buttons when you scroll down. Yes, exactly, Darla. You can use it while you're at work, so you can read what people are saying. Again, it's not perfect. Um, oh, I'm sorry, Dave. One of your Canadian buyers blocked you, and you don't know why. I'm sorry. You could go into seller.whatnot.com, then go down to your trust and safety and see if there was like a refund complaint or something. But I don't know. Sometimes people just get their knickers in a knot, as my ex my, what do I call her? My ex grandmother. Anyways, my ex's grandmother, she used to say that, don't get your knickers in a knot. But sometimes people, the other stuff is going on in their lives. So seller.whatnot.com. And then you're going to go on the left hand side, there's a menu. You're going to scroll down to trust and safety, and then you can see if there were any there, like a refund request or something like that. And sometimes people just, I don't know, they have a bad day and they feel better by blocking. So and it may have much more to do with them than it does about you. And I would just wish them well, Dave. Because it probably means that they're hurting for some other reason, and they feel they just had a moment. No, if it'll show Melody if you go to somebody's profile, if you know their username and you go to look at their profile, it'll say this user has you blocked. It'll say you're blocked. It will. It'll say you're blocked. It won't just not show you the username, so it does show you. I don't know anyone who's blocked me. If you know anyone who's blocked me, I could show you, I could demonstrate, but I am not aware currently of who has blocked me and who hasn't. And yeah, I don't want to spill the tea anyways by being like, oh, I know this person's blocked me. Not that I know of anybody, but I'm sure someone has. I'm sure someone didn't like what I had to say in a show, or because I called, the orange guy an orange guy instead of calling him by his name. And I'm sure I've been blocked for, speaking up for people with disabilities or the LGBT community, or saying that people of color are marginalized. Like, so whatever. Feel free, block away. I'll be okay. I really will. Um, and Dave says the only way I can pull up the profile is through the receipts. So yeah. But I wouldn't worry about it, Dave. Just keep doing the right thing, and you'll be okay as long as you're doing the right thing. I hate people who hate. I hate, or I should say, I hate. I don't hate the people who hate. I hate the hate. Um, and haters gonna hate, right? Purple are the best. That's what I used to call myself, Purple Tory. I was a Purple Tory. Um, one eye, one. What is it? One eye, one something. Flying purple people eater. Haters gonna hate and dogs gonna bark. It's how the world spins. You're so right. Good morning, Sin Cakes. I'd wave little hands at you. These are my little hands I'm waving at you. If you've ever been into one of Sin Cake's shows, they're very small hands, but that's how she greets you, and I love it. It's the cutest. It's the cutest thing in the world. But I don't have little hands on hand. That sounded weird. I love you. And Sin Cakes does really fun raid trains. So if you are looking to get involved in a really fun raid train, check out Sin Cake's profile, because I think you have information about where to find those. I can't remember. I apologize, but you can feel free to plug yourself, Sin Cakes. Everyone's feel free to plug themselves. Hi, Steffi Joes. I love that you're doing the right thing, even though we have to say the orange guy or something like that. I have more descriptive memes for him. Yeah. I love you too. Yes, they're so much fun. I had so much fun on the wedding singer one. I was exhausted after 20 minutes, but I had so much fun. And yeah, your raid trains are always fun. I love fun raid trains. Descriptive. Yeah, we all have descriptive names, but you know what? It's only taken 45 days for 47, 48. I don't know. I've lost count, but um history shows that if people stand up for themselves, things change. You can actually make this is not a fait accompli. Don't don't if it is unsafe for you to speak your mind, please don't. Otherwise, please speak your mind. Either way. I believe that democracy means that we can all have opinions. Um, but that doesn't mean that opinion equals fact, but we can all have opinions as long as they are not harmful to other human beings or inciting violence. So I do not agree with people saying things that are related to violence against the people that they don't like, even in joking. I don't really like that. Um so thank you for sharing the show. But you Steffi Joe. So I mean, this is why someone said to me, "Oh, you should work for Whatnot," and I'm like, "No, because then I wouldn't be able to talk about things." Even though I try not to be too, but I am, because I'm 52 now. I don't give a fork. I don't give a fork what someone thinks about me, and I've been in politics. I've run for political office. I know what it's like, and I know the back rooms, and I know how things work. So um, I'm never gonna keep quiet. Oh, thank you, Border City Thrifts. You're very sweet. But this is not blonde underneath here. This is gray. There's more back here. For some reason, whatever part of my brain is back here, that's a joke. But I know it doesn't work that way. Actually, the reason why I have a lot of gray back here, it's something to do with your follicles and if they get over it's over time. And I had when I was really young, I had two bullies who actually pulled my hair, and they pulled big chunks out of my hair in all those spots frequently for months. Of course, no adult would listen to me about it. And so yeah, now that's like the first places that started going gray. So thank you, Michelle and Nicole. I hope that you're having a wonderful life. I bet you they I bet you they just had their hair fall out magically. Yeah. I just hope that that they got the life that they deserved. Dave says I'm close to your age and I don't care anymore. I worry about my kids. I worry about my kids. My kids so my daughter is an in the L it's a lot to explain, but she's she they non-binary, asexual, heteroromantic. Trying to figure that one out. Anyways, you have to just look it up. And she works for she went to school for engineering. She works for an engineering organization that helps promote engineering to young people, and in particular girl she's in the girls program, so she works to increase engineering for girls. That would be completely like it's not government funding. Like they have some government funding, but they also have corporate funding. That would be completely eliminated if she was in the United States. Like if she had gone to a US organization, that US organization would be closing because you can't promote females, right? You can't say, don't say female, don't like all of that's deleted. So that just is mind boggling to me to think. Thankfully, she's in Canada, so it's different. And then my two step kids are LGBTQ. I have a stepson who's trans, who just got his top surgery. So it's like if he was living in the United States, he probably would never have come out. He would probably have committed suicide. Sorry. He would have unalived himself. Sorry for using the S word. He would have unalived himself years ago. So even before all this, because there's just um, in certain parts of the country, there's a different feeling. And that's not to say that Canada doesn't have bigoted people. We have lots of bigoted people. We have our fair share of bigoted people. We have our fair share of racists. We have our fair share, unfortunately, of white supremacists too. We have our fair share of people who think that, in fact, when I ran for office in 2010, one of there was a woman who was running for mayor who wasn't against me. I wasn't running for mayor. She went to a public televised um, debate and said that flying the rainbow flag at town hall was equivalent to flying the Nazi flag. Yeah. And okay, of course, like everyone, she got completely like everybody verbally attacked her. And you know, she got boos and hisses wherever she went. But she was part of a church that had needed someone to assign who would be a mouthpiece for all these things. And it's a very large church in Ajax it's called Triple C, which is kind of interesting, right? It's they call themselves Triple C. Um, but yeah, so Steffi Joe says my youngest is LGBTQ too, non-binary, and even changed their name to reflect their non-binary status. Yeah, both of my stepkids changed their name. My daughter hasn't, and I think it's just because she really likes her name. I hope that's why because I've said like you could go ahead and do it. I'm not going to be offended. But she's always really liked her name. I purposely picked. I actually went and looked in the There was a book that, I mean, this is the night. This is like 1996. Okay, so it's an old book now, and it was already an older book because I thrifted it. So, but it was a book where they interviewed people in and it was the United States, perceptions, but they interviewed people in the United States and they asked them to um to describe somebody based on their name, unseen, describe someone based on their name, and they collected all the data on, like, if you heard the name Cynthia, was do you think that that's like, how feminine do you think that is, how intelligent do you think that name is, etc., etc. And they had a whole, like, it was basically a book with all the reports on all the scales. So I went through that book and picked a name for her first name that was not in the middle of everything except for intelligence. I wanted a name where she was perceived as being intelligent. Because let's and So it became Madeline, and then Madeline Albright became the Secretary of State. Was appointed by Clinton. Yes, indeed, that's how my daughter's. So yeah, Clinton appointed Madeline Albright. So then, sort of like, her name elevated. And so, but anyway, she's really loved it. And also I wanted a name that you could shorten, so it could be Maddie or Madeline, because I'm Kim or Kimberly or Kimmy or Kimby. I got called Kimby when I was a kid. um so I just wanted a name that could adjust with her age, and so I don't know, she seems to like it, but if she changed her name I would not be upset at all. Steffi Joe says, we're in California, but even so, I'm concerned for their safety. Yeah, because there's people. I mean, here's the thing. Let me just find it, because I think. Let me find it. Hang on. Um, Very often MLK said it best. So let me just pull up his daughter, because she posted what he said. Where is it? Where is your quote of your dad? I'm sure it was Bernice. Oh, I'm not going to find it, am I? She does post a lot. But he said it best about, and I'm not going to be able to find it right now, but in one of his many books, he talked about how um, that there's, and I've talked about before, that in society, when the boundaries, I shouldn't call it the boundaries, but there's this level, and when we push past that level in rights, in human rights, there will be a pushback from people who are on the opposite side of, um, and they're there, they still exist. The racism, um, there's an undertone in society that just was unspoken before, and now these people feel emboldened to speak up, so at least they're identifying themselves, so you know who they are. And there was also, I can't remember who posted it recently, but in the United States of America, statistically, liberals, people who vote on the liberal side, um, are more educated, they earn more money, they have more disposable income, and they vote with their wallets. And there are companies that are seeing that now, like, um, and and that usually helps to change things. But again, there's still that undertone. There's still people who feel that way, and I have no clue I don't know how to fix that. Yeah, California, everywhere has like, almost like a, they feel like they're an underground society, right? They've been pushed underground and now they're able to spring back up again. Or as my father used to say, come out from underneath the rocks where they were hiding. Caroline says, I can never understand that. People are people and they deserve respect and love no matter who they are or what they believe in. Absolutely. I think people, so that's why I also believe that in a democracy, in a true democracy, you do not silence voices, um, but you So I will defend someone's right to say something that I believe is wrong, because that's free speech, and I believe that in a true democracy you have to have free speech. And so um, people have the right to say things that others may disagree with. But that doesn't mean that I have to agree with what you say just because you've said it. And I don't have to support companies that agree with you. And um, I don't have to listen to your speech. I don't have to watch you on television. I don't have to um, go to the same places that you go to. If you want to hang out in a place where a bunch of other people who feel like you are hanging out, like a bar or a restaurant, then I'm going to find another place to go to. I don't need I will defend your right to be stupid. I just don't need to be stupid with you. Um Steffi says, if I had to, I'd light the fires of hell for anyone who comes at people for their skin color, religion, or sexual orientation, or animals. Yes. May uh, People who don't treat animals well usually are also don't treat governors well. Oh no, Gavin Newsom recently made Steffi Joe, Gavin Newsom made a statement that trans women should not be allowed to compete in women's sports. Oh man. Okay, so I don't want to go into a whole educational thing, but so when a person transitions from male to female, they undergo hormonal treatment, which includes a suppression of testosterone, even before surgery, y'all. And it actually has to be done before surgery. And so um, the hormones that women have in their system doesn't make them weak, but it testosterone is one of the ingredients of a very strong body. And yes, absolutely. If you were had 25 years of growing muscle and having motor memory thanks to those muscles, you will have um, more strength than someone else who's only had female hormones in their body. However, the changes that happen to a trans woman while she's on hormones does take away a lot of the strength. And it's the reason why in Olympic sport, they test in women's sport and men's sport, they test the amount of testosterone or female hormones. Well, they test the amount of testosterone that female athletes have, and to make sure that nobody's juicing themselves with testosterone. And so it's like being anti-juiced. If you think of it, like the male body has extra testosterone, so it's like they're getting juiced, and then they transition to female, they actually have less testosterone, like significantly less testosterone. But anyways, yeah. Thank you for coming to Kim's TED Talk. That's right. Um, yeah, Steffi Joe says defend their right to be wrong and then educate them if they'll listen. But otherwise, I don't know. And Steffi Joe says, not sure if Gavin was saying that because they want to prep for a 2028 run for POTUS, but no, you know what? I'm sorry, but don't change your values. Just so, if you're a person who has to change your values in order to get elected, what the heck does that say about you when you actually do get elected? If you say one thing one day and then you change your mind and say a different thing on values. I mean, on like economic decisions and stuff, I get that. Not if you're flip flopping like an orange whale. But if you change your values just so that you can get votes or get fundraising dollars, um, yeah, you don't have values to begin with. Sorry. Sorry. As they make me smile says, I said what I said. I said what I said. There it is. I said what I said. Okay. Whatnot stuff. Anybody have any questions about whatnot stuff? Because, I will defend your right to have say things on whatnot too. But as long as you don't incite violence against, or if you spew significant hate, I think that I think that if we could start actually communicating with each other, and have conversations with each other, if there was a way to do that where they would calm down long enough to listen, I think that there would actually be a meeting of the minds. When I was in university, there was at the beginning of my university career, there, and this is like ancient history for Canadians. Um, Joe Clark had been assigned by Brian Mulrooney. Yeah, I'm that old. To do, and I forget what they called their commission, but they were basically, it was because Quebec was talking about becoming their own nation, and it was just before we had a referendum on that. And so there were these town halls that they were doing where they were talking to people and gathering Canadians' feedback. And it's actually a very interesting read. And I actually hosted conversations, these town hall conversations, but I would host them at my university. Now, my university was small at the time, and I would get a table and chairs in the middle of the concourse, which is kind of like the open space that takes you from building to building. So everybody walks through it, and the cafeteria is close by, and the pub's over there. Um, and I just sat there with a little sign that said, "This is what like." That had the logo of the, I can't remember what they were called. I want to say Forum or something. Anyways, I had the little placard, and people just came and sat down and we talked. And it was interesting, the people who came and sat down and talked, they started by like, cuz they thought, "Oh, this is the progressive conservative thing." And they'd sit down and we'd talk, and we would find common ground. We would find things that connected and common ground. And once we did that, we could then have a conversation about um differences in policy opinion, not in values. We would connect on values, and then we'd have differences on policy opinion, and we would talk them through, and we would find a common ground on that too. We would find a place in the middle. And that is what democracy was supposed to be. That was the idea behind it, was the ideals that were the basis of the Canadian democracy. Okay, US democracy is another story entirely. um that was meant to be the basis of it, is that we would find common ground. We were bringing together such diverse groups because we had Upper Canada and Lower Canada, Quebec. And also no, actually, Mimics, Jack Layton was still just a counselor. Like, this is the end of the 80s, early 90s. Layton was still a counselor. I think that was just after he'd been arrested at a I can't remember what they're called now. Oh my gosh. He got arrested at one of those hot not hot tub places. The bathing locations. Um Jack 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 was bisexual. So sometimes he went out and hung out with his friends. And he got they at the time they were illegal. They were illegal bathhouses. That's what it's called. There was bathhouses in Toronto that were illegal, but yeah, the bathhouses. Yeah, he got arrested, but he wrote one of the best letters, goodbye letters, in political history. I think he's probably the um, only major political leader in Canada who's been able to write a goodbye letter before they passed away. Jack Layton passed away. For those who don't know, Jack Layton was the rose up in and was the leader of the New Democrat Party, which is a which would be like Bernie Sanders. If Bernie Sanders was a member of a party in Canada, he would be the NDP. They've never actually won very much, but he was a member of the NDP, and he had got cancer. And he had just actually, there was a huge orange wave, and because that's their color, so it was a huge orange wave, not like your orange wave in the United States right now. And he got a huge amount. They became the official opposition which in Canada, which was like unheard of. So it was this big orange wave, and he was the leader of that. But then he found out he had cancer, and he he so he wrote his goodbye letter to Canada, and it was very well written, very well written. Steffi Joe says the U.S. was supposed to be equal rights for all landowning white males. Yeah, for all landowning. Fat Nixon and his band of grifters want to send us back to those days. Well, they want to send you back to the robber baron days, the Gilded Age, and Elon Musk was on the news. Oh God, saying that oh, what did he call it? He said that Medicare and Social Security aren't rights, that they're God, what did he call it? Oh my gosh, I can't remember the word he used right now, but I was like, I can't believe I'm hearing this. Threads. Threads. I have to find it. There's just so much. Anyways, he said basically that Medicare um and Social Security are what he wants to cut first because they're the biggest. They're the biggest piece. So if you don't have a 401k and you don't have savings, um, that's where that's. Oh, thank you, Heat Herd. Thank you. Entitlements. Yes, it's an entitlement. Um, that he's thank you. He's going to get rid of entitlements. Yeah, the biggest Ponzi scheme that actually functions and does in every other democracy around the world. And like all the wealthy democracies around the world have a social security program. In Canada, we have old age security and the Canada pension plan. And old age security is for everyone. And the Canada pension plan is for people who paid into it. Um, and I guess it's a great Ponzi scheme. I don't know. I don't think so. Ponzi scheme is a little bit different, but let's, we can, you've been fighting for 13 years to get your disability. It's fascinating. Yours, okay, so the it's SSID, right? Anyways, the Social Security disability um funds are based on diagnosis. And so you have to hit one of the you have to perfectly hit the diagnostic criteria that is listed. In Canada, we have a different system for we have a disability program, and our Canadian disability pension plan is based on your symptoms and how um, it's you have to have severe and prolonged disability based on your symptoms. So it's not just like you are blind, therefore you get it. It has to be how much function have you lost, and are you able to and it's not that it's also we do also say it's not if so say you were a pilot and you can't be a pilot anymore because of your disability, but you could certainly work somewhere else, then that is not considered severe and prolonged disability that impacts your daily life. But they do actually look at your symptoms and the manifestation of that, and are they severe and prolonged, and if so, then yes, you can qualify. If anybody ever gets it in Canada gets when you first put in your application, about 2/3 of the people will get rejected, but then you just appeal. So if you ever heard of anybody that's been rejected, that their application has been rejected, it was probably the way it was written, and contact me because I actually wrote a book about it. So a long time ago. So it's pretty much the same thing. Yeah, severe and prolonged, pretty much permanent. They basically mean it's like it's there's no likelihood of it functioning. So my mother had a severe and prolonged disability. However, um, she didn't qualify because she was still able to function on other levels. So she did work part time. My father didn't feel like um, his wife should work full time. He was old fashioned. It was way too old fashioned. Yeah, thank you, CCP. Anyways, You didn't qualify because of your age. Well, it shouldn't be your age. So it's your symptoms. So it's basically the way that it's been written mimics. So, um, yeah, I can go through with you. It's been well over 13. Chronic pain that keeps you from doing so much. I'm so sorry, Steffi Joe. I wish that there was like we could fix that because the your social security system that's about to be dismantled because it's a great Ponzi scheme um is is ridiculously restrictive based only on your diagnosis, and so there are people who could work who, because they've been able to be diagnosed with something on the list, um qualify. So all you need to do is get the diagnosis. You don't have to prove that you can't work as well, and Canada has a different way. We want to hear about the diagnosis, but it's about your symptoms. Um so it's hard to get on our disability pension plan as well, or our disability coverage. But yeah, I'm glad you have more functionality now. Your new primary care doctor says there's no way I should be denied. Good, I'm glad. So it also is in the way that it is written, and if your doctor doesn't know how to write the reports and fill in the forms, it can make a significant difference. um so Canada is looking for healthcare workers. If you are a healthcare worker and you'd like to come and live in Canada, we have some beautiful places, um, and some beautiful communities, especially in gorgeous rural areas, where we need more doctors and nurses and personal support workers and everything else in between. So yeah, if you got those skills, and there's a few other skills we're looking for, but healthcare is where we're always hiring. um, I think it's a significant portion of our economy is around the healthcare system, but our costs are not super. You think that would mean that it's super high cost compared to U.S. Medicare, and it's not. It's not. In fact, we've been you can actually compare taxes. You can go and look at what taxes you're paying this year, and then you can go on to the Canadian website and just convert to Canadian dollars, and then you can there's forms you can fill out on a bunch of different websites with your basic information before, and you will find out that um, you're paying not that much less than us for taxes and getting way less. But anyways, okay, it's 10:30. Does anyone have any questions about whatnot? As usual, I'm here to chat about anything, but if you have questions about whatnot, feel free to interrupt me because we start talking about tariffs and then away we go. So right now the tariffs, most, not all tariffs are on hold. So some products, IBCC shop was telling us yesterday that there are some tariffs, Canadian tariffs, which means that if you're a Canadian buyer, you're going to get charged for stamp collections. So be aware, and look it up before if you're going to make big purchases. Um, right now, if you're a US seller shipping up to Canada, the majority of the items that you send up will not get tariffs on them. However, Canadians already know that if they spend anything from $30 to $70 US or higher, you will get you Canadians will pay taxes and duties. We don't have the $800 de minimis. So Crystal asks, how do you make listings for random pulls and how do they work? Thank you for asking that. Okay, let me just go to my whatnot, go into the show. Let's pull up. We are going to pull in. Do I have anything? Please tell me I have something in my buy now. I do. Okay, good. Sudden panic. Okay, we're going to import. So I have a whole bunch of random. Um, I have random. I have random pulls for different occasions. So, for example, today I'm going to, hopefully, if I'm feeling okay, I'm going to be doing a book show. So I have already I already have a bunch that I've created that I just use in all of my book shows if I'm not, because most of the time I don't pre-list my books. So what I do is, as you can see, I've got lightweight, extra lightweight, medium, heavy, and then monster weight book. So that's like coffee table books and that sort of thing. And so what I do is, as I'm pulling, as I'm so I so let's say I started with a lightweight book, and then the next book I grab is extra lightweight. I used this example yesterday. So then I would pin that, and then I'd say, okay, I've got this one. It's pinned, and it's a really great book, yada yada, etc. Blah 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 about what's inside it. Show you some of the pictures, etc. And then I would say, all right, I'm going to start that at $2 for 15 seconds, starting. Wait, $2, 15 seconds, starting now. And then I would just show it. Oh, yes, UPS, DHL, it's horrible. So that would be how I would run. And then the next one, okay, that one didn't sell, or it did. It could sell or it could not sell. And then I go, all right, the next one I've got, I have a scale right beside me. I weigh it and I say, all right, the next one I've got up, this one is going to be in the medium weight, and I'm going to start this for $4. And I would explain the book. I would talk about the book. I would read the blurb. I would show you inside so you can see the condition, yada yada. And then I'd say, all right, the Martin Brodeur book is running now. And there you go. Look at how cool it is. It's got pictures, it's got words. The whole book has words in it, y'all. It's got words everywhere. And there we go. And then, all right, no worries. All right, next book up. I weigh that. Oh, it's the same weight. So I'm going to start this auction at the same weight. I've already pinned, it's already up, so I don't have to pull it up. And I go done and start auction. So so what I'm doing is I'm using a second device. You could use the device that you're on. I use a second device, or I have a laptop, or I use my second phone. And what I do is I just, every time, so we finish that auction's done. I go and I find the next, which one is the next one? All right, it's next one's going to be a heavyweight book. So I go heavyweight book. Now I'm not showing this up at the screen, obviously, but I'm showing you what I'm doing. So I do heavyweight book. I've pinned it first so everyone can see what the shipping is going to be. And then I've got it at 15 seconds, and then I change the price to whatever I want it to be. So currently it's at $3. We're going to put it up to $4. I'm going to switch to 10 seconds. There we go. I also move mine to 7 seconds. So if someone makes a bid, it's only going to go 7 seconds more, but that's a personal preference. And then I hit start auction. Okay, that's running now. So I'm holding it up. I'm talking about it. I'm showing it. And then if it sells, great. Thank you so much for buying. That's so awesome. You're wonderful. Thank you so much. Okay, next one up. And I weigh the next one and I say, all right, the next one is actually the same. It's the same weight. So then I just hit start auction, and I make sure that the starting price is going to be okay. Yep. And then I make sure it's 10 seconds, or if I want to talk about it for more, like I'm going to read the blurb, I might change it to 30 seconds. And then I just hit start auction. Okay, that's running now. Here you go. This is the book that you're buying. You're not buying this book. And there you are. And then people say they bid or they buy, and if it doesn't, then you go, all right. So if someone did buy, it wouldn't say start auction, it would say run next. Now, if you are going to run it for $3 the next time, which is the default that I've set, then you would hit run next. But if you're going to change the price as you go, so some books are worth more than others, or some pieces of clothing are worth more than others, then do not, if this sells, don't hit run next, because it will run at the base price that you set when you created the item listing. So when I create the item listing, I tend to put it at a higher amount rather than a lower amount, unless I know that show I'm only going to do $2 starts or $3 starts. Then I edit it to make it all $3 so I can hit run next without worrying. But I would only hit run next. If this sold, I would only hit run next if it was in the same weight category. But the next one is a paperback. So it's a light book. So I'm going to pin that, and then I'm going to start, and I'm going to run it for $2 for 10 seconds. And then there's the lightweight book, etc., etc., etc. And you just keep going like that. So this is book as the example, but it could be anything else. So you want to set up generalized listings for your products. So like let me pull up the $5 on the fifth one that I do. Inactive 5. See if I can find it. All right, 1, 2, 3. So on $5 on the fifth. So you can weigh everything and put it in the same weight class so you don't have to weigh every item and start. Crystal, that's up to you if you wanted to do that. I wouldn't recommend doing that if your weights are pretty similar. Like if you're doing jewelry and the weights are pretty similar for most things, then yeah, that would be okay to do kind of like a little bit above the average. So if the average weight of everything, if you weigh everything and there's 100 items and it all weighs 400 ounces together, then yes, you could do that. You do run the risk that somebody could buy all of your heavy necklaces that were above that weight as opposed to a bunch of lightweight things, and then you could have a shipping adjustment. So I prefer to weigh everything and do it that way. Some people do that. If you go and look at Green 13, if someone wouldn't mind tagging Green 13, if you watch a Green 13 show, I'll just do it right now. Green 13. If you watch and learn, if you go to a Green 13 show, you are going to see that they'll put generalized weights. They have a formula, and Jeremy, who's one of the owners of Green 13, knows what he's doing and has looked at all the data that they get from their sales on whatnot, and what he's figured out is what is the best weight category for them to be under. And so if he's got, when he's doing like an estate sale one, like when he's opening up boxes and selling stuff out of it, which is estate sales style, he'll pull up something and it could weigh 5 pounds, but it's going to just go at the 15 ounces. The next item could be super lightweight. That's still going to go at the 15 ounces. He already got permission. They got permission early on. They've been doing this for years now, where they have a general weight category and everything falls under that. And then they eat the extra costs if there are adjustments to be made. They pay for those extra costs. So they sort of like they figured out what is like the sweet spot where they don't have as much extra expense for shipping. Like I bought from them during one of their sales. I bought an entire book, like an encyclopedia set. And I afterwards I realized, oh my gosh, I just cost them like a lot of money because it didn't go for very much. I didn't pay very much, and they had to ship it up to Canada, and it was extremely heavy and large. But they are big enough that they can eat those costs. If you're not big enough yet, then I wouldn't try that method until you've got more data under your belt as to what what the general weights are and how much you can afford to pay extra fees if somebody buys all the heavy stuff. So I prefer to do it this way. So like you can see I've got if you look at the top now, I've got 3 $5 on the fifth ones that did a jewelry show and a $5 on the fifth show. So I did $5 starts. I had a pick two, I had a jewelry, and then I had a jewelry bundle. So it was all jewelry. So I had a generalized, I most of my jewelry was going to be in this category, and I figured out what the weight was. So let's look and see. What weight did I put in for $5 start bid jewelry? I did 1 to 3 ounce only. Now, all the jewelry that I picked was at or below that number. And then the pick two, what did I do for that? Pick two was 4 to 7 ounces because I knew that two of those things together would be in the 4 to 7 ounces category. So I didn't sell heavy, um, heavy necklaces or anything like that. But then I also had the jewelry. So let me just pin this. So I had the jewelry bundle, and for the jewelry bundle, I literally would pull stuff out, and if it didn't sell, I was clearing out jewelry. So what I had was I had a box set up. I don't know if I have a sample one, but I put the box that the jewelry bundles were going to go into. I put that on my scale, And I kept adding to that box until I hit 1.5 pounds, I believe. No, I did up to 12 ounces. So I went until I got to 12 ounces for that particular bundle because I knew that then I wasn't going to go over my max. Other jewelry bundle shows that I've done, I'm at 1 to 2 pounds. I I keep adding to the bundle in front of the camera until it gets to 1.5 pounds because I know I'm going to need that other half pound for wrapping it and selling it. So Crystal says I would be running single items, but I want to run all items like 1 to 3 ounce. So that would be one listing and then 4 to 7 ounces actually. So on that way I don't have to. One listing at 1 to 3 ounces. Um so if Okay, I'm trying to interpret, sorry. So you want to run all items at 1 to 3 ounces. So that would be one listing. Yeah, one listing, very similar to this one. This one is 1 to 3 ounces. And then 4 to 7 ounces. So that way I don't have to weigh everything and put it in a weight class. As long as all of your items are between 1 and 3 ounces, then you should be fine. But again, if you have anything that's up there, Um, Special Kate, are you in the US or Canada? And I can answer that question. My recommendation is weigh everything until you're big and you can afford it. US. Okay, so yes. If you're in the US, there you need to turn it on. So I'm gonna open up help.whatnot.com. Help, not hello. Help.whatnot.com. And then we're gonna go to Please hold for a second. We're going to go to plain white envelope. Okay, so USPS first class mail letter shipping is how you can do cards, stickers. Um, you can have up to 3 cards thickness, like baseball cards or Pokemon cards. Um, it's 1/4 of an inch in thickness, and it has to be a regular plain white envelope, not a bubble mailer. It has to be a flat envelope, and it has to be rectangular, and there's a maximum size which you can learn all about. But first class mail is shipping is only, and this is the United States only thing, is sold in the trading card games, sports or stickers category, and only in live shows. So yeah, so what you want to do is, so you need to first enable the option. So you open up your Whatnot device and you tap on the profile and you tap on the menu, two icons, the two lines icon. Under selling, select shipping. So under your seller hub, then go down to shipping. And then you want to switch the toggle. There's a little toggle button that says use USPS first class mail letter. You have to toggle that on first before you'll start to see it as a choice in your shows. So once enabled, you can choose first class mail letter shipping as a service level when you create a new show. So any shows that you've already booked, you'll have to, after you enable it, you'll have to go into any shows that you've already booked and make sure that it's turned on. So the envelopes have to be between 5 and 11 inches, 11.5 inches in length, 3.5 to 6 1/8 inch in width, and no more than 1/4 of an inch with no lumps or bumps. Um, so you have to enable it. It has to be listed under one of these categories: trading card games, sports cards, or stickers. So a postcard would qualify to go in the envelope, but you'll have to list it as a sticker. Okay, put it in the category of sticker, and then it should show up. Make sure that also the weight that you put is 3 ounces or less. So go only no higher than the 1 to 3 ounce category for shipping. And it's only shipping to a US address, from one US address to another US address. So if you do international giveaway, then you will get charged the regular parcel mail rates for shipping it to like Canada or the UK or the Netherlands. Um, so they actually say we recommend putting no more than 5 cards in a first class letter envelope to prevent scanning issues. Um, in some instances, your first class letter shipment will convert to a USPS Ground Advantage or Priority Shipping label. If, for example, somebody wins like if someone wins 4 of your giveaways that are all lightweight stuff, then it will show up as it will convert it to Ground Advantage. So you will get charged a little bit. That'll be an adjustment, because that's like $5 now, I think. And make sure that the value of the item is under $20. It has to be $20 or less in value. And remember too that if you thank you, Whitson's World, have a great day. Remember too that if you are doing like gift cards or something like that, my recommendation, a lot of sellers who use first class mail envelopes to send gift cards get complaints because people don't realize that it takes longer to arrive at their doorstep by first class um, by first class mail as in an envelope like snail mail. And also there's very minimal tracking. It tracks when it gets accepted at your post office, and it gets scanned again and says when it's arrived at like the last mile post office. So usually like the if someone's in a small town in Pennsylvania, it will mark that it arrived at the post office. It won't say when it's actually delivered to the house, but it arrived into the post office and went into that mail carrier's bag that day. So that's you get very minimal tracking. So that's why, and if there's no real insurance, so that's why $20 or less is the max. So if you have an item that you sell and you put it under the sticker category or trading card games or sports cards, and its value is over $20, the shipping will be higher and there could be an adjustment. So just be aware of that. And one of the things that I recommend is if you are sending like a $20 gift card in the mail, using a first class envelope, go and take a picture of the envelope with your label on it and a picture of the card, you know, beside the envelope, and then put it all in so that if somebody says I never got it, where is it, you didn't ship it to me, etc., etc., you can say, look, here's a picture of it, here's all the, you can take a picture of the codes on the card so you can prove to them like it's coming to you, it just takes longer. And sometimes the Whatnot system will mark it as delivered and we'll give a little pop-up that says your order has been delivered, rate your order. And people are like, I haven't received it yet, that's it, like it says that it was delivered, and they get all upset not realizing that Whatnot system is just marked it as delivered because the time has passed. They have kind of like a time clock because they don't rely upon the tracking because the tracking is so so minimal. So that would be my recommendation too. If you're going to do that, is make sure to take pictures, especially if anything's around the $20 value, because there are some people who will start to complain and say they didn't get it. Thank you, Crystal, for helping with that. Crystal asks, so I would label the listing as random pull 4 to 7 ounces and then make another. Yeah, that is what I do. Again, do Whatnot the way you feel comfortable. I recommend that as you're getting started on Whatnot, be careful with your weights. Make sure your weights are accurate. Make sure that, and again, you want to weigh the item. When I say make sure your weights are accurate, you weigh the item. If the item, like I always use this poor duck because it's just right beside me. So you weigh this, it is 1.5 pounds. I'm gonna put this in the 2 to 3 pound category. I'm not gonna put this in the 1 to 2 pound category because once I wrap him up really carefully, because this is all glass. I don't want him broken. I don't want him bashed and bruised. Um, I'm going to wrap him very carefully and he's going to go in a sturdy box. So once I wrap that all up, it's going to be in the 2 to 3 pound category. So I will select 2 to 3 pounds. I won't just weigh it and say, oh, it's between 1 and 2 pounds in weight. So I'm going to select 1 and 2 pounds. No, you have to think about what happens when you wrap this up, how much is it going to weigh then, and a lot of times that's where people get messed up. Don't go too high over. So I've seen people who think I've got to think about the entire box, so if somebody buys like 10 things, then that box is going to be worth, that's going to be like 1 to 2 pounds. Um, so I'm going to put it each item at 1 to 2 pounds. Well, no, because that's basically if somebody buys 10 things and you put it at 1 to 2 pounds, that box is going to be in Whatnot's head 20 pounds. So your buyer is getting charged for 20 pounds when really the item was more like in the 1 to 2 pound range, right? All those items together was 1 to 2 pounds. So you need to make sure that you're not going way over. And also don't try to game the system to save your buyer money by saying, "Oh, I've got 5 free adjustments, so don't worry. I'm just going to put this at 0 to 1 ounces, even though it's 2 pounds in weight, because then you won't pay very much in shipping. I'm going to do that for you to help you out." You can't. That's gaming the system, and you can lose your seller privileges completely. They can suspend you, or they may warn you, but they may just suspend you if they see that you're trying to game the system. So don't do that. Um, you can look at how Green 13 does things and does like a generalized weight. But again, I think that is, to me, that is something that you do when you're bigger. And I did when I was looking at custom shipping profiles back just over a year ago when the costs for shipping in Canada went really high for a bit. I was looking at using custom shipping profiles because I was worried about the adjustments and my overages because Canada suddenly had to do adjustments. Before that, we had free adjustments and we didn't worry for like a year. It was free as a bird. Um, so I did talk to them about how they do things because I knew that they had like just a generalized system. So Jeremy explained it to me, bless him. And I created custom shipping profiles, but I found that I didn't really, most of the time, I don't need them. So I only use custom shipping profiles and I've got like breakable items and large items and small items. When my item is over 18 inches, in any one of its three dimensions, then I do a custom shipping profile for it, and that item is going to ship on its own. So my buyers, if they want that thing, they're going to have to pay extra for shipping because I'm going to ship it on its own because it's too precious to have put in a box with everybody else. And congratulations for hitting egg there, Special K. You've suffered through 3 of my shows. Congratulations. You've got coupons now as an apology for having to live through all of my shows. So they do say in for first class for Special K. And oh hi, sorry Pickles, my brain farted out while I was talking. Hello Pickles, how are you? You always I want some pickles now. I'm gonna have pickles for lunch. Um, how long is it going to take for first class mail letter? They say anywhere from 2 to 10 days, but I've seen it be up to 3 weeks depending on the season. So there was a lot of complaints by buyers and winners of giveaways in from October until December because of the slowdown in USPS shipping. And so first class letter mail was taking forever to get to people. And there were a lot of complaints. So again, that's why just make a practice of if you're sending like a gift card or anything of value that you're going to use first class letter mail, take a picture of it and take a picture of the label and take a picture of the item beside, beside the open envelope, and then you can prove that you did it. Kind of like if anyone ever did Reddit gifting. Did anyone ever do the Reddit gifts? They're kind of fun, but you have to take a picture of the items and you have to take a picture of the box with the label on it, and you have to take a picture of yourself like shipping it. So like you have to take a picture of like the as I put it in the mailbox, I would take a picture of it before I shipped it. Um, it's sort of just to cover your butt, and it'll just be more pictures that are photos that are in your phone storage, and then after 60 days you can delete them. Hi Joyful Living, how are you? Good morning. Crystal says the shipping seems to be the worst for sure. The shipping just takes time to understand, and once you get into a rhythm of it, whether it's US shipping, which is way more complicated than Canadian, or it's Canadian shipping, or it's UK shipping, or Netherlands shipping, it just takes time um to learn the system. And then once you do, it seems old hat. And I've seen sellers who can't understand why new people are having so much trouble because they're perfectly fine. But we all had to learn the shipping system. Good morning, Heart Centered Soul. How are you? Good morning. Good morning, Angie. How are things? Kids at school or at a doctor's appointment or a dentist appointment or something appointment? I hope you're having a good morning. Um, so yeah, first class mail is not available in Canada. It is only a United States Postal Service option. So in Canada, you could put it under stickers, but it would just be in the same weight category. So if you're doing giveaways as a Canadian seller, lightweight items are the way to go. Oh, yeah, it's March break. I forgot it's March break. You had flu yesterday. Oh, no. I hope you're feeling a bit better. Make sure that you get lots of electrolytes in you. Have some Gatorade or something. Hello, Pink Diva Studio. What a pretty picture. I love your picture. Good morning, Pink Diva. How are you? We started the morning talking about politics, and now we are the state of the world. And now we were talking about plain white envelope shipping, as well as selecting the right weights for your item, which is just vital. It's really vital. It's sort of like it's the thing that we all, hi Shop Happy. Good morning. Everyone follow Shop Happy 2019. Great seller chats, BT dubs. Make sure that you're following and bookmarking their shows. Um Crystal says my other shipping platform I use, it's like the back of my hand, so not so many rules as Whatnot has. Yeah, I think it just takes some time to get used to, and then once you get used to it, you'll be fine. I mean, like with the Bay and Etsy and stuff, you're sort of figuring out for each item what the packaging is going to be, because you tend to sell like one, maybe two things, as opposed to on Whatnot. If you do a show, someone could buy like 20 things in your show, so it's a lot different. Pink Diva Studio says so important to have the right weight. Yes, it is like it is the most important thing completely. And so when I first started out, I messed it up all the time. But I learned. And also I have multiple scales around my house, so that I don't currently have one near me because I took it downstairs. But I usually have multiple. Usually I have one right beside me right now, because I do a lot of cataloging in this mess of room that I need to work on. That's what I need to work on. Thursday, I've also changed my schedule so that it's a little bit less chaotic for me. So now my talk shows are the same, Monday through Saturday in the mornings, and a Monday night show. But I'm doing Mondays if there's not a raid train. There's not a raid train for any of these, but Mondays is going to be small items. Tuesdays is going to be books for now, and then Wednesdays is going to be my unboxing shows, or at the end of the month, the last Wednesday of every month will be my egg game, where the big deals are. You have these same glasses in pink? Me too. I got them in the blue, the yellow, the black and white, the white and black, the clear, the green, the pink. I think I mentioned pink. I can't remember. The yellow. And the champagne. And the champagne. But I saw that there's purple ones now. Saw on Vooglam that there's purple ones. And now I want those ones too. Thank you. I like them. I have so many glasses. I change my glasses all the time. So you never know who you're going to get, because my glasses are always different. Timberwolf, TCG, how are you? Good morning. No, they're just blue light. They block blue light, basically, Shop Happy, because otherwise I'd be up all night. I have to. I'm so bad with because I'm basically on my phone all day. You need readers. You can get them. Vooglam does do them in readers, and it's not that expensive. I wish Whatnot had like a version of like, so I could just say go visit this person. They've got them, but in this case, I cannot. In this case, I cannot. Yes, Pink Diva Studio, please message me. Absolutely, I'll try and help. If anybody doesn't want to ask a question live, they can always send me a question and I'll try to answer it. I may not get to it right away, especially on my busy days, but I'll try to get it as soon as possible. Shop Happy sells readers, but not as cool as that. If you're looking for great reading glasses, go check out Shop Happy 2019, everybody. Heart Centered Soul says, do you think regular customers like to know what you're running from a preview, or like you said, what you do, you might run on days or stated in thumbnails? I think consistency helps. See, I've been extremely inconsistent, so do as I say, not as I do. Consistency does help. People know that you're going to be on Tuesdays or you're going to be on Wednesdays, and I know. I'm sorry, I disappoint a lot of people because I have to suddenly change my show. So I apologize. Like it goes all over the place, and sometimes people miss my show because I've had to move it down. Um, a lot of buyers prefer to have pre-loaded shows, or what I call cataloged shows. You've cataloged all your items and they're available. So it's kind of like going through the Sears wish book, right? That's why I call it catalog, because you can look at everything. There's descriptions and the starting bid and everything. So um, think of it like the wish book. That takes a lot of time, and not all whatnot sellers can do that, and so they do random pulls. I'm a random pull girl currently. However, my goal for this year is to start making my Wednesday shows, um, eventually have more Wednesday shows where I have preloaded things, and then have unboxings kind of in between. So a preloaded show, and then a unboxing show the next week, and then the next week after that a preloaded show, because that you get more people who will bid on that particular item and will come for those things. Um, but then there's also a whole group of people who love coming to my unboxing shows because they never know what's going to come out of the box next. I also don't know what's going to come out of the box next because I have like 300 boxes still of stuff that needs to be pulled out and priced and everything else. So I do unboxing shows, and I'm like, oh, I can't remember. I bought this 2 years ago. I don't even remember buying this. Yeah, they're fun to watch. Not everybody likes them though. Some people love unboxing shows and some people can't stand it because they're very focused on, I just want to know what you got. I want to look at what you got. I want to see it, and I want to then request that thing. I want to see it in the catalog. Some people love the catalog. Other people love the surprise, like a treasure hunt. So it's a matter of taste. So I've built up sort of a reputation, good or bad, of being an unboxer. So I will stick with, well, also from necessity, I still have to keep doing unboxing because I have so much stuff that I cannot. I am overwhelmed right now. I am overwhelmed. Retrocity Collectibles, could you come here and spend a month and organize me? That would be great. How much you want? Let me see what I got in my bank account. Seriously, it's I have this little corner of my couch. This is like the world's largest couch. We got this in 2020, just before the pandemic hit hard, and we called it the social distancing couch because one person could sit on one end and the other person could sit on the other end, and you were like 12 feet apart from each other. So we call it the social distancing couch. It's a huge couch, but it is currently covered. Co- cov- Man, I have an issue. Hi, my name is Kim, and I think my husband knows I'm a hoarder. Yeah. So anyway, I'm gonna be clearing out stuff. I am just I need to. It is so bad. And either that or I rent a storage unit, but then I've got to pay the cost of that, right? Plus, I'm gonna bring you guys closer so I can whisper. Plus, next week, I'm not doing a show next Wednesday because I'm going to be packing up 2,000 pieces of Canadian pottery. 2,000 plus. 2,000. It's not even 1,000 mimics, it's 2,000 pieces plus. Over 2,000 pieces. She never finished actually counting it because there was just so much. Oh, it's insane, Rachel. It's insane. So I got a good deal on it. And there's a lot of rare pieces and there's a lot of really awesome pieces that I just love. So I'm going to have to rent a storage unit for that. I have not informed my husband. I'm trying. No, Rachel, I haven't informed my husband. My husband makes the same face as yours does. So now that I've met her husband, I'm like, I feel you because I get the same looks, the same grump, the same. Oh God, more crap. He just thinks everything's crap, though. I think your husband appreciates. Yeah. It is totally like, yeah, it's insanity. My husband hates boxes now. He hates like the sight of any box because just but when I tell him I just did a show and I did $350 or $500, he's like, oh, well, okay then. But that only lasts for like a day or two, and then he's back to hating boxes. So, um, and when I ask him to help me, no, don't want to help. Don't He doesn't want to actually like be an assistant to me. Oh, thank you, Steffi Joe says. Steffi Joe's boutique says it's not hoarding, it's prepping. Exactly. If there was if there was like a zombie apocalypse, I would have so much stuff that I could throw at the zombies to knock them out. Hopefully, it would knock them out. And I could like the glass, I could break the glass and use it as projectiles to for the zombies. So, yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready. And I like the only thing I'm missing is an extra kitchen sink. I really need to get an extra kitchen sink and put it somewhere because that would complete the collection, because I have everything but a kitchen sink. And every once in a while, I wander around the house when I get like really upset about how like ridiculous my house is. I start singing, and Cobweb Vintage has actually come into my house and seen. I start singing from the Little Mermaid. Look at this stuff. Isn't it neat? Wouldn't you think my collection's complete? Wouldn't you think I'm the girl who has everything? Before I start crying. In a barn. You know what? I need a farm. I need a farm so I can just every room, Retrocity, every room in my house except for the bathroom. The two bathrooms do not have any extra things in there. Those are the only safe places in the house. Shop Happy says my guests share space with all my Shop Happy inventory and packing supplies. Then I do a pat down and luggage check before. Yeah, I have like one, two. There's four guest bedrooms. The what two downstairs are now two studios for me, and then which I currently am not using because of the Wi-Fi connection that I have to fix. And then the one that my stepson stayed in, there was room for him to get around the bed, and it was fine. He lived with the pile. Even in our master bedroom, there are boxes piled up everywhere. And then my daughter's the room that's set aside for my daughter. It's also a storage area. All my the very few things that I sell on the bay are in that room. It's sort of like that's where I put stuff away. Um, all right, I'm scrolling back so I don't miss anybody's comments. I apologize. Um, Yeah. Oh, yeah. So for the 2,000 items that I'm packing, Thrifting with ADHD is coming. She's going to take some videos for her YouTube and her Instagram. I'm paying her in a rare piece of Blue Mountain pottery. So she's getting like an epic piece. Um, Normally I'd probably sell that for $300 or so. So she's getting an epic piece of Blue Mountain pottery that you'll see at some point. Um, yeah, it's very cool stuff. The price was right, and I think that I can start doing like if I pick 2 Wednesdays out of the month and just do Canadian pottery shows at great deals, I think a lot of people will be very happy with with me for that. I'm going to pass on my savings to you. Some of the very rare glazes are going to go for the prices they should because I'm a collector, so I don't want to just give them away for nothing. But there's lots of other amazing Blue Mountain pottery pieces that are coming. Yes, Rachel found, oh my gosh, Rachel, I went and picked up some stuff that I had bought from Rachel, and Rachel got the stuff that she had bought from me. So we did like a local pickup in the driveway, and she had just found the most amazing hanging lamp at the dump. Like, how amazing is that? Steffi Joe says, I have 3 really big storage units. I hope to be able to use them to keep my whatnot business running. He wants me to get rid of them. I mean, if you can show that you can cover the cost of the storage unit and then some, then yeah, I think so. I also have a booth at an antique market down the street, which is where we were yesterday morning, and that's sort of become like my extra storage unit for things. I put a lot of things in there that would be too hard to sell on whatnot. I put them down there. So yeah, in your barn, in your barn. Okay, I'm catching up. Shop Happy 2019 says they think it's hoarding until they see something they want. Then I make them come to a show and swipe. Exactly. Heart Centered Soul says, I need a farm too. Just can't seem to pass up some sourcing opportunities. No is a complete sentence for some, not for me. I I just bought 2,000, over 2,000 pieces of Blue Mountain pottery and Canadian pottery, mostly Blue Mountain pottery. I was out thrifting since then. I Every time I go out thrifting now, there is Blue Mountain pottery everywhere I turn. It's like it's taunting me. And of course, do I go, "Oh, I probably had just bought like 12 of those, so I probably shouldn't buy that one." No, of course. I still buy it cuz I'm insane. I'm insane. I'm insane. I think but I'm okay with it. I'm okay with this type of insanity. Um Shop Happy 2019 says Heart Centered Soul. Same. Take me out sourcing. I'm gonna always find something to say yes to. I know. Sometimes I just go. Does it ever feel okay? This is gonna sound weird, but does it ever feel like you know that if you go into that place, you're gonna find a type of thing? Like I know that I often will have a feeling like there's a piece of Boseware in that place. I need to go in because there's Boseware there, and I go in and there's Boseware there. I don't understand how that works. I don't know if it's just manifesting or if like I have some sort of weird psychic ability to sense Canadian pottery, highly collectible Canadian pottery, or I'm just insane and I'm just I don't know, making it. It's just I don't know. Angie says, and that says, cannot wait to do several garage sales this summer so I can buy more stuff. Need to empty my 2 units and a 53-foot trailer. Oh yeah. So I did last summer I did a garage sale where basically I said it was a picker's delight garage sale. I spread out boxes all over the place into like basically categories. So all the boxes of toy stuff was in one area, the boxes of books was in another area, the boxes of vintage decor is another area, the jewelry was on a table, and they had to pick through the boxes. So I advertised it on Kijiji, which is kind of like Craigslist but fancier if you're a US folk. Kijiji is kind of like, it's actually owned by eBay, but Kijiji's like classified ads, but they're nicer than Craigslist, way nicer. But anyways, it's prettier. So I put it on Kijiji and I put it as a picker's delight, and then I listed the type of things that would be there. And I get asked when I'm at the market. There's pickers in there who come to the market. They see me and they're like, "When are you doing another garage sale?" Because I basically had it that like you pick it, you bring it over to me, you tell me how much you want to pay, and I would just basically up them a little bit and they would go away with really great deals because I was just trying to clear. I had two van loads I had to get rid of. So I just emptied two vans out onto my lawn and driveway and made like a fortune. I made a lot of money that day. Rush Rossi says every time I drive by a Value Village, yeah. I Which is Savers owns Value Village, Value Village. I call it Value Village because it sounds fancier. I can't even when someone says Value Village when I'm out in public, I go, no, 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 no. And when they say Value Village, I immediately go, no, no, no. It's called Value Village. You can't call it Value Village. It's Value Village. It sounds fancier. Um, yeah. Rachel says, we'll say to the universe, I need a swag lamp, and you find it. You were looking for a few months. Steffi Joe says you can't spell insane without sane. So yeah, exactly. Exactly. Okay, Pink Diva Studio. Do you want me to look? I will look now and see. Good morning, Deals on Style. Everyone, if you haven't followed Deals on Style, so much fun. They have three different they have Deals on Style, I Spy Collectibles, and they also have I Spy Luxury. And oh my gosh, Deals on Style has like the most interesting collection of stuff. But follow them follow them on Instagram if you want to know how to do really great Instagram reels that are going to get attention and just oh my gosh, your reels are just freaking amazing. Shut the front door. Like amazing. Your reels are just awesome. I am so jealous of your talent. I have no talent, no time, but um Kyle and Tishan are the most creative, and just I love your eclectic style and your eclectic taste, and I love your enthusiasm. So yeah, deals on style. Just and deals on style shows are so much fun. And I love that you're doing whatnot your way and figuring out and adjusting as you go. You've only been with us for what? Since November, I think. Is it November? It hasn't been that long. But oh my gosh, like yeah, November. So the thank you for the Strike Canada Post because we got amazing people like Deals on Style and no NS Coastal Closet and oh my gosh, and Buy Now Shop 59. There's so many people that came to Whatnot because of our Canada Post strike. So yeah, I love you guys. I love you guys so much. And oh my gosh, they did a chit chat show and they had to drive like 3 hours. I looked on the map. I was like, I need to see how long it's going to take for you to get to Brampton. So I like went on Google Maps and I'm like, there was like 2 hours and 41 minutes was the least amount of time that was going to take. But yeah, to Brampton. I mean, going into Brampton itself, God bless you for doing that. Is your car okay? Because I swear there's so many car accidents in Brampton. Um, amazing dedication, and even during the Canada Post strike, such an it turned out you went to Berlin. That's even farther, isn't it? You stopped and visited Tishan's mom. Oh, that's so awesome. I love that. Um, yeah, I mean, I just go 35 minutes to the chit chats drop off. And that's enough for me, but holy cow. But I think you're going to go back to Canada Post, right? Because the rates have gone down. So it's really great. Anyways, I think the reason why I'm pointing out Deals on Style is because that's their you can watch how they're doing Whatnot their way using their experience from other live selling platforms and bringing that energy and enthusiasm to Whatnot. And it's when I talk about Whatnot can be like QVC on steroids, they're QVC on steroids. They're an example. They're a what to do example as far as I'm concerned. So country roads take me home to the place I belong. Hello, country roads with Michelle. How are you? Okay, what was I looking up? I don't even remember. Was I looking something up? I can't remember. I got distracted. It's all your fault, Kyle. It's all your fault. Deals on Style says the chit chats was so great. They really wanted to keep our business, so they offered us solutions for the future. We just have to work it out with them. Awesome. So like, oh right, message. Thank you, Pink Studio. I love you. Thank you. Squirrel. Um, yes. So with chit chats, you can do like pickups. They can organize pickups, and also you can do Campar. Um, Sometimes it costs money though. It costs extra money. So holy cow. Okay. Hi, Rhonda. Yes, sounds good. I'm in. Rhonda, I'm in. I love that. Yes. Is it okay if I say a little bit about what you asked? Is it all right? You can say it out loud here. I there this is we're not competition. We're collaborators. Deals on Style said Chit Chat said they could possibly organize a house pickup, but it was going to cost us a lot. um, so that where they are willing, so they're willing to help. That is awesome. Yeah, because the can part pickup can be quite expensive. Pink conversations. I love it. I love it. Yeah, community is greater than competition. Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that. Yes, so Pink Conversations. Yeah, so Diva Studio is going to be starting a chat show. And she's going to be doing it probably on Thursday evenings. So everyone, please follow Pink Diva Studios because that's going to be another awesome um, chat show. The more we have these community chat shows where we can learn from each other and share, and we can grow together. So yes, absolutely, Pink Diva Studio. I'm in. You just let me know. You let me know when and where, and I'm in to help you out. No problem. Chat shows are really helpful. And the reason why I started a chat show was because we didn't have anything in Canada. For a while, 13 with ADHD was doing a really awesome chat show, but then, she had life. She has kids and she had work and she had a house to build and everything. So she wasn't able to do it. So I thought I'll start doing one. And I actually started it on Thursdays. Thursday nights actually was when I started. And then I decided to move to Monday nights. And actually what I did was I did two. I did Monday nights and Thursday nights. And then I decided, you know what? My Thursdays were really quiet and my Monday nights were really busy because there are less sellers selling on Monday nights. So I started doing Monday nights. And then during the Canada Post strike, which was I started on the day before the Canada Post strike was supposed to start on October 31st, I started doing a morning show and an evening show. And so I was on twice a day, every single day until the Canada Post strike was over. And then I kept that going into the new year. But before I started doing my own chat show, and I still go into other people's chat shows because you learn so much. There is nobody who has all the knowledge of whatnot. Even if you talk to the staff, they don't know everything. They know their part, right? And we know what we know, but you learn so much and you grow so much when you listen to other people and their ideas. And it was like What Liz Likes, Jean Marie Vintage, The Hodgepodge Place. They were my go tos. The Archivist. She was another one of my go tos that I went to and I learned so much from. And if it wasn't for certain, What Liz Likes was the person who kept me going when I wanted to quit. Um, and then I just I met a reworker's passion because I started doing raid trains, and then I started going to her chat shows when she started her chat shows, and then I've just met so many people like Shop Happy 2019 and the Sassy Vintage Chick, Philly Flipper, even though he talks about the 51st state whenever I go into his shows. D is very inspirational and very informative. There's just such an amazing group of people. So I'm so happy, Rhonda Pink Diva Studio, that you're going to start doing chat shows as well. And there's some people. Um, who are they all? Let me just go. Hang on. I'll just go into. If you go to, I have it saved. It's the community channel. So if you go in your categories and you look at and whatnot, and then you go to, where is it? Community. It says there's 2 viewers. One live show, 2 viewers. What? I'm on right now. Rude. Um, it's kind of funny actually. One live show, 2 viewers. But if you go to community tab, you're gonna see all kinds of people on there that you can follow. Are they all created equal? No. But Shop Happy 2019 says seller spotlight chat shows are very special to me. Yeah, I used to do them on Monday nights. I would invite people for the seller spotlight, but then sometimes people wouldn't show up. So now it's sort of, if you want to be, if you wanted to co-host with me, just let me know and I will definitely co-host you. It was just that. So what I basically started doing was saying, okay, if this person is in the room, wave and let me know. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep talking. And that's what I would do. Custom Wood Burning has a Tuesday chat at 3 p.m. today. Um, who else do I know? No. Tam's Creative Journey has a train opening show today. D Archivist is on at 12:23. I don't think I'm going to last that long. So I mean, I don't go into all of the chat shows, and there's some chat shows that are not for me. They're just not my vibe, so I don't go into them. But you find your vibe. This may not be your vibe, and that's okay. I am totally okay with not being your vibe. I no longer want to be all things to all people. Oh, I would love to come on, Shop Happy. I love you so much, and I'd love for you to come on with me. I love you. I love you. Um, oh, that was Xander that said hello. Hi, Xander. How are you? How is your March break? I hope you're having fun. Are you doing a lot of coloring? Are you guys coloring a lot today? Um, I'm just gonna scroll backwards because I've missed some stuff. Um, Mimic says they're Chit Chats is probably rather eat some of their fees to gain a new growing booming client. Yeah, I think there's like there we had some issues because of the momentary issue with tariffs earlier this month where Chit Chats was getting a little bit antsy about our reporting of where things are made. But thankfully we have a really great um in Whatnot support, there's a really great team of people who are working. And one person in particular who may be listening right now, I love you and thank you for all that you do. Um, and they are working to make sure that this partnership works. And so there, if you have any feedback on shipping at all, just know that they're listening and they want to hear it. Just be respectful, be kind and respectful, and remember that don't demand things. Say this is the reason, this is the issue, and this is and here's my suggested solution. Um, as opposed to just saying this is wrong. Come with like I think we got I mean at least when I was a kid this is what you were taught to do is don't come with just a problem, come with also a solution. Do the same thing when you're talking to support. um so Crystal says how does the max shipping work? So um let me just double check your view profile. Candies and snacks. Okay, so the max shipping. If you want to do max shipping, that means that your buyers are in this is a US thing, folks. Your buyers are only going to pay a certain amount. So if you say that maximum is $15, any costs over that $15 for shipping. So if they buy 20 more things, those things are free shipping for them. You pay the difference. You pay for the rest of it. So if you select max shipping amount, you're basically offering reduced shipping and they will pay no more than X dollars. It works well if you are able to do flat rate shipping. If you're a US seller and you can do flat rate shipping, that means everything is going to fit into one of those, wrapped in everything and protected, is going to fit into one of those flat rate priority boxes, but it's flat rate box. Then it works for you because the shipping is a little bit cheaper there, and so you can fit like up to what is it 1 to 5 pounds or something, up to no up to 70 pounds. If it fits it ships. If you can shove it into all the stuff that they bought into a box, if it fits it ships. But you can't franken box or anything like that. It has to be the flat rate box, unadulterated at all, no alterations to the box, bigger or smaller. So so it works for that. But if you do not have, like, if you're a vintage seller, flat rate shipping doesn't tend to work because after you wrap things carefully, if it's something that's fragile and on the larger side, it's not going to fit into one of those boxes safely and arrive safely at the doorstep. um so a max shipping is great if you are doing flat rate. Outside of flat rate, it can get quite expensive for you as a seller unless all of your items are lightweight. So Crystal 2010, I'm thinking most of your stuff is going to be small, but let me just double check because I'm thinking Crystal. When I think of your name, I'm thinking of crystals. You do candies and snacks, adventure into other items, your shows, everything else, a little of this and that. Everything is in the every else. Okay, so let me just look at your shop. That might give me a better indication. Well, you got a LED Bluetooth speaker. So if that LED Bluetooth speaker, the Battleship game, that would fit in. The bedside caddy, that should fit in. The screwdriver set, the card game, the other card game, and the random stickers. Yeah, my only question would be that Bluetooth LED speaker. It looks like it's small, but it's hard to tell from the pictures. So be very careful. If you're a US seller, be very careful with the flat rate shipping is all I'm saying. I am not an expert in it at all. You can go to some of the other US shows. D Archivist has some really great videos about US shipping because it is much more complicated than our shipping because we don't have flat rate and all that kind of stuff. But if you do set max shipping, which again is only a US thing, Canadians don't have that option, then any shipping charges above what the buyer paid will be paid by you. And you can't, it's not a shipping adjustment thing. You pay for it. You will literally, when they make their purchase, that amount will come off of your ledger. It will be a negative on your ledger. Deals on Style says the best part about this industry is the limitless creativity and how it can always adapt and grow, make it whatever you want to be. Absolutely. And that's, I think that's one of the, like, there's, I always talk about the secret sauce of Whatnot. Community is huge. Community is a huge part of growing your business on Whatnot. If you think you can do this alone by yourself without interacting with other sellers and the seller community, sure, you might be able to, but I don't think you would grow as fast as you can if you are a part of the community and collaborate with other sellers. Don't treat us as competition. We are your partners, we are your collaborators. And yeah, the what I love is that there is, you can find what makes you comfortable with doing shows. If you like to do shows a certain way, do shows that way. Don't try to be somebody you're not, because there is a buyer for everybody. Some people love really intense screaming at at the, really intense screaming and let's go chat, let's go chat, let's go. Woo! Okay, that's not my show. That will never be my show. I can't do it. I tried doing it once and I felt ridiculous. Um, I just felt ridiculous right now. Um, you you have to do your vibe and find your rhythm and what works for you and how you like to run your shows and adjust. There's no rule that says that just because you've done shows this way for 2 years that you can't try something new. And if you like that something new, you can stick with it or you can go back to what you had before. We can learn from each other. Nobody has trademarked anything on here, right? So if somebody does a show and you really love the way that they did their surprise sets, there's nothing that says that you can't do that. You could always say during your show that we got inspired by Shop Happy 2019, who did this really great show and we loved it, and so we're doing something very similar because we just loved the way she did it. Right? You can credit people, but you don't have to like put like a banner on the bottom that says this or this idea that we're doing was originally Pink Diva Studios. Please be aware. TM, right? There's not any of that. For example, there's a new raid train that's coming out that's called Wigging Out Raid Train. It's actually spelled the exact same way that my friends Kylie Afternoon Antique Co and Ken the Gumby Man did the Wigging Out Train. And I was an award winner, by the way. Just saying. um and it was a fun raid train, and they said they're not gonna, they did three of them, I think it was three, and they decided they didn't have the time with their businesses to also do the raid train because it is a lot of work. Somebody else has taken it on, and they're calling it the Wiggin Out Raid Train. And you know what? Ken and Kylie are absolutely thrilled that someone else is going to do it and is going to have fun with it. And it may not be the same, but it doesn't have to be. And they're not like, wait a second, you can't call it the Wigging Out Raid Train because that was it was spelled with no G on the end. Wiggin Out Raid Train. They're not doing that. They're excited. They're excited for it. That's the kind of community spirit you're going to find on Whatnot, and they're probably going to do it a little bit differently. Same as Battle of the Best. Battle of the Best was a thing that OMGYG did, and she had her own flavor and vibe. CG Boomerang Echo has taken it over because OMGYG said after December, that's it. I've had enough. I've done enough, and I need to take a break from this because it's a lot of work. Raid trains are a lot of work, especially when they get as big as her raid trains did. And CG Boomerang Echo has a slightly different vibe. So it's a little bit different, but that doesn't mean that it's wrong. It's just a different vibe. So she's getting different sellers. She's got some of the same sellers, but others different sellers, new people, and opening up the circle to a different crowd, and that's really exciting too. So yeah, you do you on Whatnot and you will be successful. You're not going to be everybody's cup of tea. You cannot be everybody's cup of tea. You cannot be screaming loud, let's go chat, and super quiet ASMR at the same time. You can't do both. So you decide what you're most comfortable with and you will be successful on Whatnot. Just find that. All right, I'm scrolling back up again. Steffi Joe says, I would love to co-host with you. Yay! Sometime in the future. I just need to stabilize it first. Yeah, no problem. You let me know. If somebody wants to come on and co-host for a bit, just message me. Oh, Xander's doing good. His birthday is on the 13th, so he loves March break. He hopes I'm doing well. Thank you, Xander. I love you. You are awesome. And I love you, Angie, as well. So oh, that's exciting. Your birthday's on the 13th. Happy birthday. We're gonna have to sing happy birthday to you that morning. I got a couple of days to warm up my lungs so I can sing happy birthday to you. Crystal 2010 says, Shop Happy 2019. I was in your show last night and I really enjoyed it. Thank you. I need to hear the uplifting because I'm on edge to not do Whatnot. Oh, Crystal, you'll be great. You're going to be awesome on Whatnot. I'm looking forward to your shows. Deals on Style says, because there hasn't been a Canada Post competitor for a long time, I I think they're willing to yes, to Bezos the situation. Yeah, they're willing to Chit Chats is willing to lose a little bit to gain customers for sure. Hopefully they start opening up some more locations or drop off locations for us because it's ridiculous. Like between Peterborough and Ottawa, there is nothing. And there's a huge swath of people in Belleville and Kingston, Cornwall that they're missing out on. They're missing, and then around the country, like they're not even in Newfoundland at all. They're not in Saskatchewan and Manitoba at all. They're missing out on a huge chunk of BC and Alberta because they're only in Vancouver, Edmonton, and Calgary. In Quebec, they're only in Montreal. There's there's so much more, and they're so GTA focused right now because that's where they built up. Pink Diva Studio says supporting others is so important, especially to smaller accounts. Yeah, absolutely. And we build each other up. So you know, there are a lot of raid trains that do like big fish, little fish, new seller raid trains. They're really great to get onto. If you see one that's happening, you can always message the person who's on the raid train, or if it's in the thumbnail who's running it, message them and ask them if you can be on their next raid train. Those raid trains are a really great way to support each other and to support smaller accounts, part-time sellers, and also new sellers who need that boost. Um, and Shop Happy says to Crystal 2010, thank you. I had so much fun on her chat show. Don't overthink it. And if I can help, send a DM. You are awesome, Shop Happy 2019. You are such a sweetheart. I love you. Yay, Country Roads, you unlocked egg. I am so sorry that you've had to suffer through 3 of my shows in order to get coupons, but thank you so much for being here all the time. I love you. Deals on Styles asks, has anyone else had something sell straight out of the shop, not during a show? Yep. We had an item sell straight out of the shop yesterday. We are hoping that means that the marketplace is being marketed more. So they are trying to get more visibility on Google with their marketplace listings. That is why that's one of the reasons why Whatnot started Premier Shop, was to encourage people to start creating more quality listings. Because when you create more quality listings with keywords, if you are a eBay seller, you know that they have like that AI tool that will help fill in all the words that you need, that includes keywords to put in a description that's helpful for the item. It's like the most amazing thing. So you could always, psst, here's a little trick. You could go and put the thing in on eBay, get the eBay tool to write it with their AI, and then copy and paste over to Whatnot. Yeah, you could do that. Don't tell anyone. You can use that. There's nothing that says you can't just put that in draft on the bay, but you can use that tool to get a really great listing. The more you can put into your descriptions that is keywords and in the title keywords, the more likely it is going to pop up on searches. So yeah, I've sold out of the marketplace quite a bit. Sometimes the most random thing that I think, I just put it there and I didn't think it would ever sell, and it's been sitting on the marketplace, and then all of a sudden, boop, it sells. And I'm like, wow, okay, all right then. So I always recommend, there is a little toggle when you list something in the buy it now. There's a toggle that says reserve for live, which means that it can only be purchased out of the show. So it'll show up on your, when you look at, so for example, let's look at this person's. profile. Hang on. View profile. Do they have anything in their shop? Okay. Yeah. So when you look at this person's shop, those things, there's only two things. So it's not the greatest example, but if you look at this person's shop, these things, if this was in an upcoming show, these two things were in an upcoming show, they would show in the shop. So this is kind of like your marketplace, but in order to buy it, it would take me into the see how this is on a pre-bid. So I would have to pre-bid for it, um, as opposed to, and this one is too. Yeah, this one's a buy it now. So this one's a buy it now. The other one was a pre-bid, so I could buy this one now, but even though it's an upcoming show. But if you turn off the reserve for live, you can add it to your upcoming shows, but it also will be just sellable straight out of marketplace without having to um, it'll say marketplace purchase as opposed to from the show. So I've had people who have bought from my profile. They've bought something that was listed in a show, and so it lists it as that show coming up. And sometimes I've listed it for some weird reason, probably because I've moved a show around. It'll list it for a show that's like a month away, but I just ship it out right away. I don't wait till the show happens a month later. I ship it out right away. Darla Ann says, I sell salt and pepper shakers, so I only use ground and priority. Yeah, because it's we were talking before, just to catch people up, we were talking before about shipping and how flat rate shipping in the US can be challenging if you have breakables, because the boxes don't give you a lot of bubble wrap room and protection. And the boxes are not heavy duty, right? They're not heavy duty. So you can I've how many times I've had a USPS priority mailbox arrive to me like completely smooshed. um they are not Timex. They do not take a licking and keep on ticking. Hello Linda, the crazy bead lady, how are you this morning? Good morning. um yeah. And Shop Happy says secondhand sarcasm. Yes, secondhand sarcasm. Q does a good chat about flat rate shipping too. Good to know. Um, Whenever I come into Q's shows, she's just having fun. I never make it for the shipping part. I guess I always miss it. But yeah, secondhand sarcasm. Awesome human being. I love her so much, and she's so funny, and she's got really great shows. She always lifts up my spirits. Um, Deals on Style says shop happy, but congrats. It's a cool feeling, not what we're used to on whatnot as, but yeah, but whoop whoop. A few. Maybe run heavy big items with its own shipping profile and shipping separately. Heart Center Soul, yeah, that is an option. You could do a custom shipping profile for your heavier items so that it doesn't ship flat rate. But I wouldn't recommend doing that if you are doing max shipping. If you're selecting max shipping, and paying, your buyer only pays up to like $10 US, and then you have to pay the rest. Um, I wouldn't recommend that because that can be very expensive, because that's an extra box. That's a new box. So your buyer will pay shipping for that new box, but if they only have to do up to $10 and it's really heavy item. But you know what? It's that part is complicated. For me personally, I only use custom shipping profiles for extra large things, and everything else I leave in the regular weight category, which works for me in Canada. Um, Pink Diva Studio says community plays a huge part. Yeah, it's impossible really to grow without being part of a community here. Good morning, Faber 2000. How are you? Good morning. Good morning. Shop Happy says deals on style. It's a great feeling to make money in your sleep. Praying for many, many more of those kinds of sales. Absolutely. It's so true. Hi, secondhand sarcasm. We were just talking about how amazing you are. Deals on style says you're a screamer. That's true. When you get excited, it's, but you know what? You step back. You usually take a step back before you scream. You have been trained enough, or you've trained yourself enough to know to not be right beside the microphone when you do it. Yes, but when Kyle gets excited, it is you are the most adorable person on this planet. I love you so much. You make me happy every time I watch you. It's just a happy feeling. Crazy Bee Lady says, I couldn't print out my postage before I left because where I did my show, it should have been mailed from there. Can mail from Ontario. Yeah, you should be fine. You should be fine. It should be accepted at the post office. You should be all right. If you're in doubt, message Whatnot Support and just ask them, and they could make an adjustment to your labels for you. Crystal 2010 says, I've said it, the buyer pays all shipping. That's what I would do. I was thinking to send that speaker in a poly bag. Oh, I don't know. Is it really well protected inside? Like, is it super, super well packaged inside? Like, if you were to go, like, smack it really hard or drop it on the floor, would it be okay? Otherwise, no, put it in a box. Yeah, Pink Diva Studio says something really important. She says, create your own blueprint for your business. Absolutely. And oh, I haven't, oh, sorry. It's reminding me to follow this seller. Oh, go back to your account, Kim. Go back to your show. Back I go to my show. Okay, hang on. Where am I? There I am. I added so many things into my um resources. So I do have a planner that you can use. It's a goal planner, but it's also like a planner, a 2025 planner. And I will pin that now. There we go. So if you look at the resources down below, I have a planner that you can use, which includes a show planner. So if you're you want to make sure that you've got all the little bits of whatnotness that sometimes we forget, like doing a flash sale or having coupons, or what kind of shipping are we going to do, that sort of thing. If you're a US seller, I've made it so it's for like everyone, so it does say free reduced shipping as one of the options that you can select on your planner. And I also have a bunch of other planning tools. So if you want to, and what I did, I don't even know if it's here, it's probably downstairs, but so like what I did was, this was my previous one. This was my like previous plan for March. That was February. And so this has now been redone. And I have so what I do is I just take this off and start again with something new. So I did a new one for March and April. I made plans for March and April. I did the monthly calendar, and then I looked at my weekly calendar and wrote down like, what do I want my Monday, my Tuesdays, my Wednesdays, etc. to look like. And so I made a decision for me that I'm going to try for the next 2 months to do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday selling, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday is for shipping and sourcing. And that's just what I've decided to do. I'm going to see how it works, and if it doesn't work, I'm going to adjust again. But if you want any of those, um, Deals on Style says, learn from each other, respect each other, support each other. Kindness is free. We all have our niche and our audience. Absolutely. Um, okay, secondhand sarcasm. I'm not going to repeat that one. Um, get those keywords and images out. Retrocity Collectible says, I have marketplace sales weekly. It just varies, but I do list everything. And I mean, now you do. Retrocity Collectibles is really great at doing listings on Whatnot. And I don't know how you do so many, but I need to get into that habit too, which is another one of my goals, which I know I had for last time, but I've rejigged it. So my goal is to try to, on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, do at least 10 pre-listed items, so that like at least every other week I can have one show that's all just pre-listed. And what am I going to call? I can't remember what I'm going to call it. I called it something. I even created a new thing for it. Let me see. Minimize show. Oh yeah, that's what it's called. It's called Shop Roosters Horde. Shop Roosters Horde. That's my plan, is to do the Shop Roosters Horde. So you can, sometimes it'll be pulls out of boxes, but I'm going to try my best to start doing that. Oh, why didn't that repeat? Uh-oh. Kim screwed up. Or maybe I didn't. Maybe not. So Shop Roosters Horde is my new thing for, and I'm going to try and do more listings, pre-listings, because I know that pre-listings can get you way more money than my just random pulls. Um, Deals on Style says this is where Whatnot needs to Bezos it. Others are way higher in the AI search. Yeah, absolutely. And I know that Whatnot is working on that. I know that it is in the like, as you can imagine, there's like a huge list of things that they're working on. The product development team has been working hard to try and um, make the selling experience and the buying experience, the user experience, as easy as possible, make things, and they've been taking a lot of feedback. So feel free to message Whatnot support with feedback. You can actually, if you go to my show notes, there's a section that tells you how to contact us. One of the, like, when you go to contact us, it will open up a window and it will have like, which thing are you wanting to talk to us about? And one of the first things is feature feedback. And that's where you can click and then type in your suggestions. Again, problem and solution is my recommendation. And then, be as nice as possible, be nice and kind. Secondhand sarcasm, I like tricks. That's what I do. That's what I do for my other listings when I'm listing elsewhere. Yes. Use the AI tools on other websites to do it. Um, Deals on Style says it's so exciting. We have just started investing time into listing everything for all three brands. I mean, you've got three. Deals on Style has three brands. So there's Deals on Style. You can also follow I, like the letter I, Spy Luxury, and I Spy Collectibles. Um, if you wouldn't mind, Deals on Style, of putting up the links for that so people can easily find you, and also follow you there. Um, Made a really interesting decision that not all brands here on Whatnot have done, to separate the three brands, to say these are our three businesses and they're a little bit different from each other. So we're separating them out. That's a really, really fascinating. I'm fascinated by how you guys are doing that, because that's a lot of extra work, but I think it's working out really well for you. So it's fascinating. I love it. Um, and Deals on Style also says it's encouraging to see the ROI, return on investment, for marketplace listings. Obviously, it has perks for shows as well, so it's really a win-win. Yes, and I highly recommend. I've been in some shows where there is nothing in the buy it now. I highly recommend that if you've done listings for one sale and you don't want to put those things into your next sale, toss them into the buy it now. Increase the price to the price you are willing to let it go for a buy it now, versus at auction you might lower your price a bit to encourage bids. Um, Put it into the buy it now for now. And then when you want to, you can pull it back into auction for a future show. But I find that when I'm in a show and the thing that's being shown at the time isn't of interest to me, I like to go into the buy it now and scroll through the buy it now to see what else there is. And again, it's like going through that Christmas wish, the Sears wish list, Sears wish catalog, right? The Christmas wish list catalog. It's like going through that. It's a chance to like, oh, look at this. Oh, and you start shopping and buying from there, and then you buy something in the auction, or vice versa. But otherwise, sometimes when people get bored of what you're showing, and you can't show something that everybody's going to want, right? So you can't avoid that. It's hard to it's very extremely hard to please everyone enough that they're going to stick around. Having the buy it now for them to scroll through and look, and have stuff in your auction that they can scroll through and look, but in the buy it now gives you that time that they've got something else to do while they're waiting for the next item to come up, if that makes sense. It just it's a way of capturing your audience, keeping them with you, as opposed to them doing a quick swipe up or a swipe away and going back to what I call the lobby, to the For You page. I call it the lobby. I have words for everything, don't I? It's the English major in me. Darla Ann says, when you are live and someone purchases from your shop, does it separate it in the final sales? If you are live and it's a marketplace item that was not in your show, if it's in your show, then no. No, it would separate it as being part of the marketplace. So if they weren't in your show buying it because it was in your buy it now, it was in the marketplace instead, and only in the marketplace, it would not bundle those together. So if they went to your marketplace and bought something and then came into your show and bought stuff there, it would be two separate shipments. You can bundle it yourself. You can select those two shipments and bundle them together. That doesn't mean that they'll get a refund for any shipping, extra shipping. Hey, Thrifty Fox Shop, and hello, Rope Bunny. Faber 2000 says, I can't see my items on the marketplace. Oh, so when you go to your profile, if you hit review profile, it should show you everything. It should show you something like that with all active, inactive, and sold. So it should show you everything there. If it doesn't, then that may mean that you don't have anything loaded into a future show. So all you need to do is just load everything into your future shows, and you can do that by cloning. I won't show you that today because we are now at 11:57, so I need to get moving because I do have, when's my show booked for? 2:21. So I have a little bit of time, but not too much because I need to eat, take my meds, have a little rest, and then bring like 4 or 5 boxes of books up here. Ugh. Deals on styles says create products that are quality listings and they will be available in the shop, like a mini website on your profile. Yeah, it's like having your own store, mini store on there. Crazy Beat Lady, you're currently sitting in the Calgary airport for 6 hours. Think of all the Whatnot shows you're going to be able to watch. Secondhand sarcasm. I love that that got is now officially a bad word. Secondhand sarcasm got red chatted for saying you're rubbing off on me. She didn't mean it that way. Um, and Shop Happy says, "Look at you lifting spirits. Oh, you're so sweet. I love you guys. I love all of you. Okay, it is almost. I almost said midnight. That's how tired I am. It's almost. It is almost 12 noon. I almost said 1 o'clock. Today at 12:23, D Archivist is going to be on doing her coffee talk and tech chat. And she's going to be doing the attracting new buyers. So that is a chat that is going to have whatnot giveaways at. So if you want a whatnot keychain, she's going to be giving away 3 keychains at 2 or 3 keychains. I don't know. She's giving away keychains, y'all. Whatnot keychains. So if you're interested in getting some whatnot swag, go to D Archivist today at 12:23 p.m. And who else is on later today? Custom wood burning. If you're a handmade person or you just want to listen to an awesome person have chat, Tuesday chat with custom wood burning is on today at 3. And then let me see who else is on. I mean, there's a lot of people on. Flower Child Finds is on at 6:37 p.m. tonight. The Sassy Vintage Chick is on tonight at 7:07 p.m. Her show is Attracting Buyers, so that will be another one. That's your hint. If you see Attracting Buyers or something in that category, that she's also going to be giving away Whatnot swag. So that is at 7:07 p.m. And I'm trying to see if anybody else is on tonight. Da, 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 da. Okay. Oh, and oh my gosh, today at 8:35 p.m., our friend and honorary Canadian Captain Hook 503 is doing an LGBTQIA plus community chat. And I think this is the first time that he's doing it. So 8:35 p.m. today, bookmark this show and follow our wonderful friend Captain Hook 503. Why does it say I'm not following you? Oh my god. um he's going to be doing a community chat for the LGBTQIA community, so let's if you can come join and show your support as an ally or a friend. Everybody's welcome, of course. Thank you, Casey's Clay. These are just one of many. If you'll get used to seeing all the different ones I have. Box inside of a poly deals on style says, yeah, I would be worried about it just going in a poly. Yeah, Crystal, I would highly recommend just to be safe. Deals on style great gives a great point. Always think of yourself as the buyer. How would you hope to receive the item? Adding those additional levels of protection really show. you know what? It kind of reminds me of if any of you have bought from like Temu or AliExpress, everything comes in a poly bag. And I swear to God, like I think that they have some sort of smusher that they use to smush everything because I'm amazed that the stuff arrives in one piece because it is like just in poly bags and there's very little protection. And I guess they don't care because it's cheap stuff and they'll just send you another one, right? Um, but yeah, like that's to me that's about presentation but also about showing that you care. Deals on style, you're absolutely right. um and Pink Diva Studio says that's exactly how I think when I'm packing my items. Yeah, I mean, I pack my items with like multiple layers. I try to go over the top because I'm always worried about breaking. I sent something to the Gumby Man, won an Empoli piece. It was a jar, not a jar. There was a word for it. But anyways, it was absolutely stunning, absolutely gorgeous. It was part of the egg game, so we got an amazing deal. And I'm not there. I'm happy about that. And I fretted about it for the whole week it took to get there. Like fretted, and then he got it, but he didn't open it up yet. I had to message him and say, because he's a friend. So I said, Ken, open up the box, please. Please open the box and tell me it's okay because I am having nightmares. I would literally wake up in the middle of the night in a sweat worrying about it. That's how I feel when I ship you stuff. I worry. And if it breaks, I want to hear about it. Tell me about it. I want to know. I don't want it to happen, but I do want to know if it happens so that I can make it right with you. Um, so, Deals on Style says, I appreciate all their adaptability. I just mentioned because I said someone is in here just dropping my. I love you. You are amazing. Um, Shop Happy says it stresses me out to see an empty bin. Yeah, I didn't know. I almost like I wanted to go in and I wanted to shop and then I was hoping to bloop. And I went in and it was like I seriously was like, wait, it says there's nothing in the bin. What do I do now? How do I bloop? I can't bloop. Oh my God. And so I just, I went back to watching, but I still felt it felt weird not to be able to bloop. I do like to bloop. Thrifty Fox Shop says, I moved a bunch of items over to my bin last night and it helped. Yeah, isn't it cool? Because people go in there and you can always say if someone says like, oh, can you run this thing that's in your buy it now? You can run as auction from your buy it now. So I could take, let me see, let me go into my show. Let me go into my show and I can show you. Let's go to the buy it now. Let's scroll down to something. Let's go to this one, pin. So I can take this, and if I click on the triple dots, it's a little bit different on iPhone, but not much. See how it says start auction? I can hit start auction. And then I can put the price. You have to adjust the price. So instead of I'm going to put it down to $3 for 10 seconds, and then I can run it as an auction instead for that item. And I can reduce the price if I want to from my buy it now. There are some people who run their auctions from their buy it now. So you can buy it at the higher price right away, or you can wait until they run it as an auction and get it for possibly a lower price. I have seen some people though that have it in their buy it now at $25 and then they run it at $25, which means it might go up because people might compete against each other to buy it. But if I just go in, when I notice that they're doing that, I don't go in and buy out of their buy it now because I might be it's not like I'm stealing, but I feel like they're missing out on opportunities for a better sale than what I'm going to give them. But always, if you're going to do that, if you're going to run out of your buy it now, put it at a higher price than what you're going to run it as an auction, because if you run it as an auction, that's your the price that you want to get um might be a little bit more as opposed to what you absolutely need to get. So never put your price at your starting bid for your auction lower than what you need to get in order to make a decent profit from it. Remember your time, the bubble wrap you're going to have to put on it, et cetera, et cetera. You have to think about all your packaging and all that. That goes into what you're going to try and make, what your margins are going to be for that item. So that's your lowest starting price. If you put in the buy it now, this kind of like if you've looked on eBay, they'll have auctions that will also say you can bid on it or buy it now at this price, right? So it's a similar thing, except they don't so you can do a very similar thing on Whatnot and turn it into a live auction, but I would reduce the price a little bit and leave the price for the buy it now at a higher price, which is kind of like your ideal or closest to your ideal price that you want to get for it. So it's more like you're buying like a buy it now on eBay, if anyone's worked on eBay. Pink Diva Studio says I add to my bin daily. Yeah, and I'm going to try and get back to doing more cataloging. Joyful Living 74 says, what's the difference between the buy it now and the shop? So the buy it now is live when you're doing a show. So the buy it now is a part of your auction. You can have your auction and then you have your buy it now. The shop will show you all the things. If you go to someone's profile and you look at the things that they have in their shop, that's all the things that they have listed in marketplace, in auction, and in buy it now. So it's a combination of all of them, so that somebody could, if they see something they like, they could pre-bid on it if it's an auction thing, or they could buy it if it's a buy it now thing straight from your profile, your shop tab on your profile. Um, Shop Happy 2019 says, I need to do better, but I try to never have an empty bin during a show. Yeah, I think bins, especially if you're on a raid train, fill your buy it now as much as you can. So Crystal 2010, the marketplace is on your profile. It is things that you list only on there on the profile that aren't in your shows, that aren't added to your shows. Hi Consta 88, it might be in draft mode or inactive. Yeah, if it's not, absolutely. If it's not visible to others, it means that um you have it in inactive. And so the best thing for you to do is when you look at your profile, minimize show, view profiles. So if you look at your shop, you'll see it'll show you, the first thing it's going to show you is active, but then you can click over here and it should show you any inactives. It won't show you drafts though, and drafts are only visible on when you go to on a browser, go to seller.whatnot.com. um in Retrocity Collectible says, if it's a buy it now, it won't show because it's probably set to reserved. Retrocity Collectible says, I just hit my 1 year today. I want to say thank you to you, Kim, and all the other sellers that have shown me nothing but love and support. Yay! Congratulations. Happy Whatnot anniversary. Everyone follow Retrocity Collectibles. Really fun like really great collection. It's amazing. One of my friends said it's like when they're in your show, you just bring out the coolest things that have so many nostalgic memories. It's just awesome. So if you love nostalgia, you need to check out Retrocity Collectibles. Designs by Grandma, thank you for the raid. You are awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you. Everyone follow Designs by Grandma. Let me check out your profile. Sorry that I was late in saying hello to you. Let me just, I lost you. Oh my gosh, we are so far behind. I'm so far behind, everyone. Sorry. View profile. Designs by Grandma. Hello, Tanya. Um, you just had your first show? And you have a show coming up on the 18th at 10 a.m. Tumblers, sippy cups, and more. Other home and garden. They look super pretty, Tanya. They're like, I love the one that you have in your profile picture. It's like different shades of purple. I love it so much. Congratulations and welcome to Whatnot. I'm excited to have you here. And look at that. You've got in your shop, you have the best grandpa tumbler, new with box for only $15. That is a great gift for Father's Day. Everyone, please follow Designs by Grandma and check out her upcoming show. Welcome to Whatnot. We're so happy to have you here. You're going to do great. Tumblers are awesome. I love tumblers. Thank you so much, Pickles, for trying to get my attention. Kitten Lady Rescue says, how to mail shoes in a box, another box. Most sneaker sellers, unless it's a collectible shoe where the box is as important as the shoe, um, because that adds to the value because it's a new collectible shoe still in its pristine box. I've seen that a lot just put them in bubble mailers or poly mailers if they're shipping shoes in a box. But yeah, if the box is part of the value, then you put that box in another box and make sure that there's I would wrap the box in a couple of layers of packing paper. I even do that for books. I don't want them tossing around and hurting the spine while they're in shipment. So I wrap them up in paper. So I would do the same if I was selling collectible sneakers in original box and the box was in good or decent condition. I would wrap it in packing paper and then put it in a box and make sure there was space all around the box filled with more packing paper or some material to hold it in place. That would be my recommendation, kitten lady. Constance says, yes, I think buyers would appreciate shoes with boxes in another box. I think so too. I think it just, if you can find the boxes, and here's where I go for boxes. I go to get free boxes because I like to reuse boxes. So I have boxes that I purchase from Amazon and from other online retailers that are small. So if you buy like little things from me, you're going to get it probably in a small box that's brand new. I try to make it so that you could reuse that box yourself in the future. So, and I hope that you reuse those boxes and don't just throw them out. Um, the boxes that I get for free, I go to my local convenience store. I go to the hardware store because they usually have really good heavy duty boxes. I have a in Peterborough, there is a really great um there's a really great grocery store that does like a significant amount of what they sell is frozen. They're a frozen foods kind of discount grocery store. So they always have tons. On Friday, especially, is the day when they unload everything for the weekend. So Friday afternoons, I go there and I get tons of really great heavy duty boxes that were meant for like frozen meat and frozen vegetables. So they're really heavy duty. I grab those boxes for free. So if you are shipping a lot of like you will find that if you go to those kind of places, you can find boxes that will work for you. Flatten them and store them in like sort of the size order, um, so that it's easy for you to pick out the box you need. Um, that's a do as I say, not as I do. I just have boxes all over the place and I just go on this little fun hunt from one room to another. Sometimes I'm like emptying a box into another box so I can use that box because I need it. It's pretty bad. I need help. I do need help. Retrocity, like send me a message with how much I can hire you for. Um And Angie's this and that says you could also run items at flash sale from the buy it now. Yeah, absolutely. Flash sale is so much fun. Thank you for reminding us about that. Flash sale is so much fun. It can only last for like 30 seconds or so. Flash sale only work right now. They haven't been able to bring flash sale to Android. You can run it off of your iPhone and off of your any browser. You can run it. You go to seller.whatnot.com, go to your shows, open the current show. Make sure you hit mute before the show opens so that you don't have an echo, because that is the worst sound in the world when it happens. And and it happened in like the third show I did, and I completely panicked. I froze for a second, like, ah, the sound is horrible. Don't know what to do. And then I just like basically shut the laptop down so it stopped making the noise. Flash sales are awesome. They work really well. Now, they were originally intended for like if you had 20 of something or 100 of something, you could do a really cool, fun flash sale. They work really well for big sellers when they do that, when they have like some cool thing and they offer it for like 50% off or something. Like they sell out. Like I was in one show and they sold out in like 30 seconds over 150 of this one thing. It was insane to watch. Like it took forever for the system to catch up with doing, at the top where it says this person bought something, this person bought something. It took forever for it to catch up to all the sales. It was hilarious. And Whatnot did it with some pins during their product development show. And it's like it was over before they'd finished saying it was running. Like it was like everything was gone right away. Like it was just like, okay, we're running it. Okay, it's done. Was like that. It was really cool. Consta88 says, if I need to adjust the shipping weight by more than 5 pounds, is that included in the five free adjustments? Canadian seller. So if you are over by 5 pounds, you may have to pay for that adjustment. The whatnot system, I don't know what their breaking point is, but certainly if you're over by way more than 5 pounds, then you may be paying for that adjustment instead of the system may flag that and say that you're going to pay for that adjustment. So, yeah, I would, if you can sacrifice an adjustment and split it up into two, you might be better off, but maybe not. Yeah. So, um, I would just double check that. Yeah, I mean, when you enter in the so when you enter the weight and the dimensions, and then it says to you, this is over, and this is gonna you have, 3 out of 5 adjustments left. And you hit save, and then it says, are you sure this is gonna be this chart? You're gonna get this charge, and you hit save. That's not necessary. I discovered that I was really worried because I had like 4 cent adjustments on a couple of things, and it was like so frustrating. But then I was able to make the box a little bit smaller, and I got rid of them. So I entered it, I saved it, and then it said I had like 1 adjustment left by the time I was done. But then when I did my final entry, made the boxes, figured out how to make the boxes a little bit smaller, and then I entered the information and hit save, it was 0 for the adjustment, and so I those that other adjustment came back. So I would just save it and see, look at that price and see if there's a way to adjust the weight, like if it's maybe your box is too heavy duty and you could go with something lighter or a different material for your stuffing or something. But if it's off because of the weight of the items, then there's not much you can do to reduce that. But it also just depends on where it's going to, Consta. How if it's going to the States, you might be okay because their weight categories are much different than Canadian weight categories. If it's going in Canada, it's probably going to be a big bill. It's probably going to be a big bill. Okay, what else do we? I'm following up. I'm following boxes everywhere. That's me. Deals on Style says, we found over the years by telling neighbors and friends what you do, they'll keep aside boxes for us. A friend just dropped off a load of boxes today. That is so cool. I mean, everyone in town knows that I resell, but they don't see me very often. I'm not as friendly as you are, Kyle. Um, so I am friendly, but I'm not that friendly. This is a very quiet neighborhood too. This is like I thought I was going to come to the country and it was going to be like when I was a kid and we lived in the country, but it's different here. It's slightly different. Anyways, yeah, like what Liz likes, she's a member of her church, and so everybody knows. And so every Sunday, um when church gets out and everyone's in the parking lot, she has people like saying, come over here, come to my car, I've got stuff for you. And she just fills up her vehicle with tons of boxes and bubble wrap and everything. It's amazing how many people don't even realize how many boxes they have. But also if you go to like small stores like the convenience store, a lot of them, they don't want to have to deal with the boxes. So if you take it away from them, if you just find out when it is that they normally get their deliveries in and arrange, they'll be so happy for you to take their boxes away from them so they don't have to deal with it. Lester and Loom says, how long does it take to get help desk to respond to an email? I emailed them something on Friday and have not received anything from them yet. You probably will receive an answer sometime today or early tomorrow, Lester and Loom. It depends on if they need to do any investigations. Um, Also, just double check your email that it didn't end up going into spam. I find that a lot of times, or it goes into, if you use Gmail, it doesn't prioritize message, even though I keep telling it to prioritize messages from whatnot, it still won't. So every every few hours when I go and check my email, I also go in and type in whatnot and search for anything that says whatnot on it, and that's when I see stuff. So sometimes they will follow up with a question for you, um, to get more details, or they may just give you an answer with a link to an article on help.whatnot.com. If you look at that link to help.whatnot.com and you read through it and it still doesn't resolve your issue, respond back to them. Just remember that it's 24 to 48 business hours, business days, hours in business days speak. So the weekends, sometimes you will not get a response on the weekends. It depends on what it is and who it needs to go to, because there's different specialists for different questions. Darla says, I really try hard to gauge how much all the packing material will weigh, but I've had a couple that were an ounce or two overweight. That's okay, Darla. That happens. An ounce or two is that's why they give us the adjustments when it's like big. there were sellers who were taking advantage of Whatnot systems and trying to game the system by, they had a 10-pound item and they'd put it at 0 to 1 ounce or 1 to 3 ounces, because they're like, well, Whatnot will pay the difference because I'll just use one of my adjustments. That's not okay. And so Whatnot had to crack down on that because too many sellers were doing that and it was costing Whatnot a lot of money. And the bigger they grow, the more they have to, the more scammers they find, and then they have to change their rules to catch up with all these scammers to protect the company. We need to protect the company. If the company fails because scammers got what they needed out of it, it affects all of us, right? This company does need to make profit and satisfy all of its angel investors. And they have a lot of angel investors, and we love you, angel investors. Thank you so much for investing in Whatnot, because a lot of us just absolutely love Whatnot, and I don't know what I'd do without Whatnot. What would I do without Whatnot? I don't want to think about it. Darla Ann says, how specific does the post office get with 1 or 2 ounces? It depends on your post, to be honest. It depends on your post office. For example, if I go to the Havelock post office, there is one person in there. If she is working, I I dread it because I try to be absolutely accurate. In fact, I might go an ounce over, as opposed to an ounce like right on the dot, because I want to make sure that just in case my scale, um she's very particular, and she'll hand stuff back if it's like she grabs out, like at my post office in Hastings. I love them and they're sweet and they're very careful. Canada Post, they're very careful. They don't just take anything without really looking at it. But they look at the if they don't grab out the measuring tape. If I come in, they know that if I say that it's that size, they trust me because they know I don't scam them. So I come in, they don't pull out the measuring tape. But there's other places where no matter who you are, they're going to pull out that measuring tape and they're going to put it on the scale. And if the scale is off at all, um, so one of the things is if they say to you, "Oh, this needs more postage," ask them to take it off the scale and to reset the scale and try again, because sometimes the scale is off. If you know that it's okay, but if it is if you, when you weigh it after it's packed and it is over 1 or 2 ounces, just go into Whatnot to your shipping and put the correct amount before you hit generate label. Make sure you put the right dimensions and the right weight every single time. Every single time. Hand stitch, hello. Why is it that there are literally no Canadian sellers on this platform? Everyone who's a Canadian seller, please wave right now. Everyone wave at Hand Stitch. Hi, Hand Stitch. I'm a Canadian seller. Welcome in. There's literally no Canadian sellers on this platform. Okay, literally, not figuratively, literally. Yeah, so hi. Angie's this and that, Consta, Mimics, who else is in here? Deals on Style has 3 seller accounts. Yeah, everyone say hi. Oh, Cleverly's Cleverly's Crafter. That is such a fun name. You're new on this app. Welcome in. Sedlo, hello, welcome. Pickles, Retrocity Collectibles, hello. There's Mimics, Consta, Lester and Loom, Deals on Style, who also has I Spy, Luxury and I Spy Collectibles, Rebecca's Relics, Pink TV's Studio. There are so many of us here. And Cleverly's Crafter says, if someone buys more than one item, how can I predict the weight or the size of the packaging before adding the price of the delivery? So Cleverly's Crafter, you don't need to do that. All you need to do is each item, you weigh it. And then when you're creating your items, so you go into your create a product, and once you do all the other stuff and you get down to shipping, what you want to do is take the item and weigh it. And then whatever that weight is, you want to add on, what I used to do, to make it easier for me. Yes, an Obscura Lafay absolutely is another one. Is what you want to do is, so say it's this book. Okay, so I'm going to weigh this and I'm going to say this is 1.5 pounds already. So I'm going to put this, because this won't need a lot of protection. I'm going to put this at 1 to 2 pounds, because it's going to be more like 2 pounds after I package it. And then say somebody else, the next item that they buy is this one. Well, this one I've put in at 4 to 7 ounces, because that's what it's going to be. Cactus Chaos is an honorary Canadian. You are an honorary Canadian. And Merv One just hasn't set up a date. Hello, but you do vinyl. How are you doing? Rachel Hoffman is also a seller on here from Canada. There are Americans in here as well, and we love you. But there are a lot of Canadians. So yeah, so you don't. All you need to do is weigh the item that you have, each item separately, and then add on weight for packing that up safely into a box. Then Whatnot has a smart bundling system, so the next item that a person purchases, the system will tell them what the shipping is going to be to add that item into the box that they've started. And Whatnot figures that all out. And as long as you are within your weights and your box isn't too big, you should be fine. And you have 5 free adjustments every week for everybody. Every week you have 5 free adjustments. So if you do need to go up a size in your weight for some reason, you are off, or you have to go up a bit because of the size of your box, the 15 centimeter by 15 centimeter by 15 centimeter default that you see can be scary, but if you are having heavier things, then you should be fine. It's just, for example, if I sell something at 0 to 1 ounces or 1 to 3 ounces, and the one of the dimensions is going to be more than 15 centimeters, it is going to charge me an adjustment. So oftentimes, if something is larger in size, I will put it up to 4 to 7 ounces, just because I know that that's what it's going to end up costing in shipping. Da, 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 da. So if you want to find, and you're a Poshy. There's lots of former Poshies on here. We used to call them Poshmark refugees, because they were running away from Poshmark because of um, what it was. So if you want to find Canadian sellers, what you do is you go to, so let's see. Let's go to one of the bigger categories. Trading card games. So you go to trading card games, one of the bigger categories. You go and you hit filter. And when you hit filter, on the side here is going to be shipped from. It's somewhere around there. Shipped from. And then you select Canada, wherever that is. Hang on. It's somewhere in here. Canada, right beside Germany. There we go. Canada. And then you hit the yellow button to find them. And then all the shows that are booked, and look, right now live is Buddha's Card Shop is live, and Glamour is also live right now, doing trading card games. And then these are all the shows in Canada that are coming up and trading card games. Boop. Oh my God, it keeps going. This is the category that never, there you go. Those are all Canadians, y'all. All Canadians. So if you're like, there are literally no Canadians on this app, there is literally no reason that you can't find Canadians on this app, because we are everywhere. Everywhere. Maybe there's not a lot of shows in Gulf or something, but there are a lot of Canadian shows. And that's how you can find them easily, is by searching for shipped from and then Canada. Lucid Alora, thank you. Deals on Sale. Lucid Alora, Lexi Lux Finds, Nova Scotia Coastal Closet, Melody Cone. I don't know if she was in here earlier. There's lots of Canadians. So yeah, Hand Stitch, welcome. You're going to find lots and lots of Canadians in here. We have a really great group. So how much fees does Whatnot take? Whatnot has the commission rate is 8%. Everything is in US dollars. So you sell in US dollars and you receive in US dollars. So it's 8% commission on the sale price of the item. If you use coupons, you still have to pay commission on the coupon value. So if it's $1 off, you're still paying a commission for that dollar that you gave someone a coupon. Okay. So anyways, so if it's $10, then that's, what is that? 80 cents. If it was $100, that would be $8 commission. Then there's also a 2.9% payment processing fee, which is just the cost that it takes to process the payment. 2.9%. I see that all over the place on different sites. So 2.9% payment processing fee. That's for the total that the buyer paid for that item. So the buyer pays $10 for the item plus shipping of $5 plus taxes, etc. Then there's 2.9% payment processing fee on that, like the final amount that they pay. So there's 2.9%. Then there's also a 30-cent payment processing fee for each item you sell. There's also 30 cents. So that's why I say don't do dollar starts. $2 starts are better. Do bundles whenever anyone asks to do a bundle and bundle things together. Do that and sell them as one. I do that for Melody all the time. She says set that stuff aside. I set it aside, and then at the end she's ready, and I say okay, here's your bundle, and I sell it to her, because if she buys 5 things from me, I make it into one item, then I've saved $1.20. No, $1.20, right? Yeah, I've saved $1.20 because I've only paid 30 cents for the one thing. So the fees are pretty much below industry standards right now. They're low fees, and I think I just think it's the best app on the world in the world. Um, Deals on styles. Oh yes, buy now, shop 59. Mitch Vamp. Oh my gosh, there's so many. Kim Lady Rescue says I have a show scheduled with 80 bookmarks. That's awesome. I want to do it several times, but how do I keep those bookmarks? So you only get bookmarks per show. So if you want to, and one of the things you can do when you schedule a show is you can go in and see here what it says does not repeat. If you click on that, if you want to do, say, every week you want to do that type of show, you can hit weekly, and then you can put it up to 10 times. You can make 10 shows that are going to be the exact same. Oopsie doopsies. So after 10, it's going to do 10 shows with the same title, the same category, um, the same moderators, this, etc. And you can select weekly, you can do daily, you can do monthly, you could do like every 2 months, there's all kinds of options here. So you can schedule 10 shows at the same time. When people bookmark, they just bookmark an individual show. If you can't do your show and you've got 80 bookmarks, you can reschedule that show to another day. But once you've run the show, those bookmarks are gone and you've got to build bookmarks for the next. So that's why I always suggest to all sellers, new and experience, is always have at least 4 to 5 shows. I think 5 shows is ideal minimum in your profile, so that if I click on your profile, if I click on your little image while you're in the show chatting and you seem like a really friendly person and I want to check out your profile and follow you, I can bookmark your shows. And I can bookmark at least 4 or 5 of them, because that's what I tend to do. Is if someone is really interesting and I want to check out their shows, I will go bloop 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 bloop, and I will just bookmark all the shows that I can see. I'll go up to 5 or 6 depending on if I have time. If the show that I'm watching at the time is really busy and I need to get back, I might only bookmark 2 shows, or I might only bookmark 1 show. But the more shows that you have scheduled, the more likely you are to get bookmarks. So always have extra shows scheduled. I see a lot of people who will do a show and then they won't have more shows scheduled. So the people in your show who are like, I love this person, I want to see their other shows, can't go into your profile and bookmark your next show. And then when you're in other shows, they can't bookmark you. And when you raid, especially if you raid into a show, you want to have some shows that are available for people to bookmark. When the person says, thank you so much for the raid, and says, go look at their profile and follow and bookmark their shows. If they have no shows to bookmark, then it's like, wah, 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 wah. So you won't, once a show is over, those bookmarks are gone, because basically those bookmarks are just they send out a notification that your show is live, that you've gone live. Now, it used to be that you could, at the top of someone's profile, there'd be a bell, and you could turn on the bell for certain people and get notification of all of their shows happening. But only for like those people. That's gone now, I noticed, because all of a sudden I had turned it on for someone thinking it was just for them, And all of a sudden I was getting notifications for everyone I follow. And I'm following 2,000 people right now, which is a little bit much. I probably should go through and like clear out some of the ones that maybe they're not active anymore, or just I'm not interested in their shows anymore. I don't know them well enough, but I got a ton of notifications and I couldn't figure it out. And then I realized, because I turned it off on my profile, I turned it off so that I wasn't getting notifications of every person I follow when they go live. Um, yeah, it's my mom's place. God, what's happening now? And then, sorry, I got distracted by the phone call. Hang on. So, it turns out that you no longer can do that. It's either you turn it on and you get notifications of everybody's shows going live, or none. So I have it turned on. If I bookmark your show, I'm going to get a notification that you're live. Otherwise, usually in one of my the many chats that I'm involved in on different platforms, someone will say so and so is live, Deals on Style is live, come on in. Angie's this and that is live, come in. So yeah, absolutely. And Angie, listen, that says we are growing leaps and bounds. The Canadian market has started to realize that Whatnot is something that they need to be part of, and we're getting so much. So Cleverly's Crafter asks, or Keeverly's, I'm not saying it right, sorry, says, do we have to convert the US money to Canadian money? Well, if you have a US dollar bank account, you can deposit that money. You can set it up so that Stripe deposits US dollars into your US dollar account. Absolutely. You can get like a, TD, Simply Financial, all of them have US dollar accounts, and you could set it up so it goes into a US dollar account, but it's not necessary. My money goes into my Canadian dollar account and gets converted from US to Canada um, by by the payment processing. By basically, I still use PayPal, but for new sellers, I think Stripe is the only thing that's available right now. Kitten Lady Rescue, yeah, plus 30 cents for the payment processing fee, not for the conversion. Luster and Loom says, I am not clear how the coupons work. If someone has a $5 coupon and you have an item that they bought for $10, are you only receiving $5? Yes. So if you use a coupon in a grocery store and it's $5 off Tide Pods, um, 72 count Tide Pods, then you are paying $5 less for that item, and the manufacturer Tide pays the grocery store $5. So if someone gives you a $5 off coupon, or you give someone a $5 off coupon and they buy something for $10, you only are getting $5. When you set up coupons, which you can do at seller.whatnot.com, go to the left-hand side, look for the marketing. There's on the menu is marketing. You click on that, and then it'll have a drop down menu and it'll say coupons. When you create your coupons and you have like a dollar off, instead of using a percent off, if you do dollar amount off, you can put it that the minimum purchase is X amount. So sometimes I give out $5 coupons that are $5 off, whatever. So if a person buys something for $5 and they use their $5 off coupon, it's $0. I pay for their payment processing fee and the 2.9% for the shipping that they pay. And I pay 8% on $5 for commission still, because I used a coupon. So I'm covering that part of your bill. I'm paying for it, just like at a grocery store. When the Tide coupon is used, the grocery store takes that back to Tide and says, here's all the coupons that got used, give me my money. Very similar. Very similar, basically. So yes, if you do $5 off $10, then you are only getting $5 minus your commissions and payment processing fee. Oh, good. Yes, add more of your handmade items. That's awesome. And you should follow Custom Wood Burning. Custom Wood Burning does handmade chats, a reworker's passion as well, and probably someone's going to tell me about other ones. Can I see who bookmarked? Kitten Lady Rescue, you cannot see who bookmarked you. No, that's private information, so they don't share that. You will not be able to see who's going to get notified of your shows. Darla says, after my first show, I received promote credits. What does this do? That is great. And Deals on Style answered you and said it's great to use them to boost or promote your show. Highlights your show while you're live for a duration of time. Yeah. So it's like an ad. So if we go, let me just see if I can find somebody on my For You page. Going to go to my For You page. So on the For You page, if I scroll, holy cow, Hodgepodge got to Premier Shop. Good for her. I'm just going to scroll and see if I can see anybody who's getting promoted right now or is using promote tools. I don't see anyone who's doing promote tools right now. So I can't give you an example. Dang it. Usually it's easy to find somebody. Usually it's very easy to find somebody. So if somebody was using promote tools, I'll just show you at the top. Oh, and Dee's live right now, so we'll rate into her. As you can see, like Flower Child Finds right here, it would have a little bit of mice type underneath, tiny type that would say sponsored. So it means that it was like the ad was sponsored. So it would show you, it would have a little thing that would say sponsored or boosted by the community. If there was a community boost, if someone pays for a community boost, then it would be boosted by the community, but it'll show up and it increases your discoverability. However, if you don't have a US account, you're fine. However, if you use promote tools, please remember that that doesn't absolutely mean that people are going to click into your show. If your thumbnail doesn't look interesting, they're not going to click into your show. If what they see, if they look at a live tile, for example, as you can see, I call this the lobby. So if you're in the lobby and you see a live tile and it looks interesting, you're going to click into it. I know D. So let's see what else we can find here. Okay, so this one's got a really nice background. I can't she's bending over, so we can't see her. Hang on. She's bending over right now. As soon as she gets back into the screen, it might get more interesting. So I might click into that. Let's see who else is on. We're spying at everybody. Okay, so like she's going through Dale's Place Picker's Paradise. So she's like a live shop right now. So that looks kind of interesting. So I might go into that. This one, let's see. Melody May is doing jewelry and she's got a really pretty setup. So I might go into that. You have to think about is what people are looking at in what I call the lobby. I call this the lobby. If people are in the lobby and they're looking in your room or they're looking at your thumbnail, is it going to make them want to click? If it's not going to make them want to click, they're not going to click. So it promote tools are great and you should use it because they will expire. So you should use it. You might as well use it. Pick a show that you want to get promoted where you've prepared and you've got everything ready. You've got or you're doing a special sale or something, use it for that. If you're going at a different time and you want to get more people in that you normally don't, that sort of thing. I use promote tools when I'm on raid train sometimes. If I want to help boost my numbers, I will do that. I'll use the promote tools for that. I often just use the promote tools to show you guys how it works. And the last time that I did that, I gained 200 and something odd followers because my tile showed up to somebody when somebody was looking where to raid and my tile popped up higher. So they came in, which is very cool. So it'll actually, the promote tools, you can go to seller.whatnot.com and go over to the marketing side and click on that. And then it will actually show you, if you click on promote tools, it'll show you if you've used promote tools, what value you got out of it. Like how many impressions, how many times did people see your tile in their For You page or their followed hosts, right? It'll show you that. And it'll also tell you how many people clicked through and came into your show and how many people stayed for more than 30 seconds, which is another important factor, right? People sometimes will click in and will immediately click back out again or swipe out. So it will tell you all those details as well as how many bids did you get from those people who came in and how many purchases did you get from those people who came in and an estimate of the amount of money that you made off of it, which is really fascinating, as well as the number of followers that you receive from it. So highly recommend that. Okay, we're gonna go right into D, so I'm just gonna catch up. Deals on Style says, I love PayPal, wish it worked for others. I don't want to give up my PayPal. Is there any cost from Stripe? Luster and Loom, I honestly don't know. I think there's like small amount. It is cheaper, I understand, than it is much cheaper than the it's much cheaper than if you use PayPal, from what I understand. But then I also use the instant payout with PayPal because this girl can't wait for anything. I hate standing in line, so I don't even like waiting. So I'm willing to pay the small percent that they charge me to have my money go right into my bank account immediately. But I think Stripe has smaller fees. Cactus Chaos asks, when sharing a seller's show, the notation doesn't always show up in the chat. How can we tell if the share went through? So if you shared to like your Instagram or to an email or to somebody um, on any of the social media, and it posted for you, then you're fine. It doesn't. Yeah, they stopped all the time showing when someone shares, and I think it's just kind of a random thing now, so that if you're, for example, it was part of the reason why was because sometimes people are sharing the show a lot. Like if there's a giveaway going, there were, people are sharing like, hey, come into this giveaway, and then all you would see is in big shows would be shared, 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 and it would like kill the chat because there was all these share notifications. So they don't do share notifications every single time. um, I hope that helped, Darla. I hope I answered. Deals on Style says before you start your show, you can set up the promote to make it easier and see the estimated insights. Yeah. And I would recommend using, if you're a new seller, use promote tools, not the boost. Because the promote tools is can be for the whole duration of the show. You can make that determination about how much you want to spend. The boost is only for 15 minutes. So if you were doing, like, if you were on a big raid train, or you were about to sell something like really fat, like an Empoli decanter, right? A big rare Empoli decanter in bright blue, then you would pin that item, you would start the boost, which you would have to do in the show, and then you would talk about the item, show the item, wait a little bit because notifications are going out, and also when you pin an item. So if you look at your store before you do your show, if you look at your store and you see that people have interest, they've bookmarked, because you can go into somebody's show, and I'm just going to go into her shop. And so if I hit here, this number one, and then leave her show, then when she starts running that auction, it's going to send me a notification. So one of the best things you can do is, if you see, even if you see it in your buy it now, if somebody, and I did it the other day, let's just see, I did it the other day and someone immediately came in from a bookmark. So if you look in your buy it now, let me just see if it'll show me. It won't show me on here. It won't show me on my Android, but on my iPhone, it shows me, for example, this one. Which one? This one I think has like 8 bookmarks. So if I pin that, 8 people are getting a notification that I'm about to sell this thing. And so if I wait and talk about it, or I talk about something else, and then a bit later I go, okay, I've given it a few minutes. I'm going to start the auction, and $2 starting now. And then obviously I would have given it more time, that because I'm just giving as an example. So if you pin the item and then wait, if you've got bookmarks that you can see where people have saved that item, they will get a notification when you pin it. So pin it, talk about it, then run it. If you've done preloading, pin it, talk about it, run it, and look for, when you're looking for pre-bids, also look for people who have saved the item. They may not have pre-bid on it, but they've saved the item. So when you pin it, they're going to get a notification that you're about to run it. How cool is that, right? Choo, 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 choo. And as Pink Diva says, yes, make today great. Absolutely. And Deals on Style says, always remember that all tools are just that, and to be tested and slowly introduced. Start adjusting small variables and then see what happens. Yeah, big changes are great sometimes, but sometimes all you need to do is just keep tweaking your whatnot business until you find the right system and the right vibe that works for you. And as Deals on Style says, do what works best for you, not what you see work for others. Yes, and um imitation, they say, is the best form of flattery, but you cannot, don't try and compare yourself. um when you comparison is the thief of joy. So when you look at a big seller who's got like 14,000 followers and they've got 150 people in the room and you say, I want to do it exactly like that. Well, they can do it that way with their low starting bids and their millions of giveaways and all that because they've got 150 people in the room. So they know when they started at a buck, it's not going to end up at a buck, right? If you're starting off on Whatnot, you can't do it that way. You will make, unless you've got the money set aside, unless you have that privilege and that amount of money that you can run as if you have a big following and a big audience, you are going to lose money doing that. So don't work yourself up. Say one day in 6 months, 8 months, 9 months, 10 months, I want to be that big, and then I'm going to do $1 starts. Or in 6 months, I'm going to be at this level. This is my aim of this many followers and this many average people in my room. And so then I'm going to start doing $2 starts or something. Work your way up. Absolutely. Okay. All right. Enough preaching from me. We're going to go into D Archivist. She's doing a chat show right now. She is amazing. You are going to love her. And her coffee talk shows are some of the best. She's done a D challenge every D of the year. She's now on day 284 out of 365, and she's just amazing. So we're gonna go in there. Let's, if you're wherever you live in the world, put up your emojis and your flags. And I love you. Thank you, Deals on Style. I love you. Much love to both of you. Mwah. Much love to everybody. I love you guys so much. Have a great day. I will maybe see you later when I'm doing books, but if books aren't your thing, maybe I'll see you tomorrow morning.